What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your beardless hosts, Eddie, along with my bearded host, Sheps.
I was going to ask you about that, but I think I figured it out.
What is it?
For Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's
cool,
it.
cool.
But the problem is, do you know what? It's a stupid thing. The person who I'm going as, by the time you see this, you guys will know what it is. I'm going as Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. He in the second one, we've seen him in a few trailers where he's like Spider Dad and stuff like that. But he goes really short, like basically 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going 5 o'clock shadow. What I'll do is I'll go a little light on the beard. People were telling me to do that. I was like, let me go a little light on the beard. It doesn't look like what he's got.
Yeah.
And now all I'm stuck with is beardless Eddie. And I don't like it.
It is weird, isn't it? Like, I'm with you. I feel like you either have a beard that works or you don't, which is fine. And if it does work and you get used to it, you can't really go back.
There's no going back.
It's, I don't know what it is, but beard all the way.
And what's worse is that I've hooked up an interview with Danielle Bisucci, Freya from God of War, and now she's going to see me beardless, and I feel like an idiot.
You're basically less of a man. You're less of a man. We all know you're less of a man. She is just going to assume, who is this,
what if
rugged lesbian interviewing me?
Damn it! I was going to say, what if she had the hots for me because I had a beard, and now it's just not going to happen.
I mean, she is Kratos' not quite, but kind of girlfriend.
There's tons of Raw 34 of them two just getting it on. I don't know how. Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Don't.
Just clear your history.
Just don't ask me.
For unrelated reasons.
If I die, clear my history, okay? If I die, clear my history. But
on that note, I saw a Yoda meme, and it was a blank history more suspicious is, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, touche, Yoda. Touche.
Yoda knows. I'm just going to start the timer because obviously I've forgotten to do that.
Perfect for the time stamps, yeah.
Exactly, I'll start that right now.
Gaming.
So, bro,
Yes.
how have you been, man? What have you been up to? You been playing any games, anything like that?
I have had very, very little time.
Right.
Uh,
Surprise.
Crazy.
Adults have little time?
It's funny because I think I was saying this to you just earlier. I've had a few messages over the course of the last maybe 6 months or so. People who finished uni or finished school and they're working jobs, and they've said, and I think you've probably had a few of these where you're like, how do you do this? Adulting and finding time to game, it's really tough. And initially, I was like, for in your first couple of jobs, it is tough because you're not used to it, but you do get used to working a regular day and then coming home. But the thing is, that's when you're 20. When you're older, and it's not actually being 30, because if I only worked a regular job and came home, I would game all night. It is the fact that I do have bills to pay and a missus and family to help out, and my mum and stepdad went to America, so I'm looking after their dog for bits.
Because you're more of
which
an adult.
I love, but
because you're more of an adult, you're more experienced. People put more responsibility on you, and you've
Right.
got more responsibilities.
yeah, and then you have to find time to do. You still live in a home, so it needs to be clean. You need to wash stuff. I need to put my car in for a service. I need to.
Whereas when you're like
Go
Ben and
shopping.
Mario in the 20s, you don't need to worry about clean sheets. You're just leaving the old shit every day.
And also, not being funny, but you savages. But it's okay to just have ramen noodles in the cupboard all the time. But I'm with my chick. She doesn't want to just eat like a student all the time. And she's shit at cooking, so I do all the cooking. So I haven't had much time, but I have done two things. I have started Jedi Survivor.
Hey!
I put some time on it.
Oh, yeah?
I got all the way to almost finishing the first heist.
I mean, he's be like, bro, I'm all the way at the big guy.
The reveal. The thing. I got thoughts on it. I'm sure we'll discuss it. So, but obviously been enjoying it, but haven't had too much time. And I have. I've been playing a little bit of Apex Legends because it's my go-to social game sort of thing. Because I do like shooters. I've been trying to learn mouse and keyboard.
Getting any good?
No,
Well, it's a shit system. That's why.
it is.
Yeah.
And the really
We know.
frustrating thing is like, so that, for example, we do know mouse is the best way to aim. Right? It's just the more efficient way to do
Facts.
it. But it's you do need to get used to it, and I could get better at it. But I have no incentive because the reason I try to learn mouse and keyboard is Apex Legends is a sort of game that really benefits from movement
Right.
and being good at movement and having those controls. All the best movement players are on mouse and keyboard. It's just a more efficient way to do the inputs. And also I don't have back buttons on my controller anymore.
Right.
But even if I did, it's still way better to do it on M&K. I did forget, you know how sometimes you'll look at a thing and be like, I can do that because I could do it when I was 22.
Oh yeah.
And then you find out that you're not 22 anymore. I do forget that I don't want to call myself a disabled gamer. When I say disabled gamers, I think of those dudes that play like Elden Ring with their face.
On like the specialist like accessibility
With, like,
controllers
mouth
and things
controls
like
and stuff
that.
like that. Those guys are heroes.
Yeah.
That's what like accessibility controls and stuff are for. However, I do have nerve damage in both my hands. So these fingers don't really work. And that one's so busted it's like pretty broke. But this is the mouse sensor. It's not too big of an issue. However, I cannot actually function with these fingers on the mouse and
Right.
keyboard. So I lose literally half of your availability.
Right.
So I've had to move. I had to center all the controls around these fingers and get as much onto the mouse as possible. And it just doesn't work very well. So I've gone back to controller. I wanted to do movement on M&K.
Listen, I just don't think that I think we might need to edit that part out because you calling disabled gamers heroes, like Runic Firebird is going to get a really big head. He's really going to be like, oh,
Correcting Conbrosations.
which we haven't done in multiple episodes.
When you said disabled people are heroes, actually,
We're all, oh, yeah, he's going to be so mad at that.
is he disabled?
No, I don't think he
Oh,
is.
okay.
I'm calling it just... He's going to be like, the fucking
He's
cheek.
like, hey. If Zacchino could read, he'd be really upset by
Yeah,
that.
if only he could, right? If only he could. But he's a PC player. What do you expect? Bro.
How have you been?
Oh, I've been okay.
Gaming?
Things going on. Only a little bit of gaming. Since in case you guys didn't know, since the last time we spoke, I had a car accident.
Yeah,
Did I mention that?
I might have been on the one that didn't get uploaded.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Well, anyway, I had a car accident and the car's been written off. Everyone's all safe in case I didn't mention that before.
Yeah. And for once, it actually legit is nothing to do with you. Like, it's not your fault. It's
Exactly.
very clearly the other douchebag.
Exactly. But he is contesting it, so strangely.
Of course.
I'll talk about that on the Conbros podcast. But trying to find a new vehicle is proving to be the most difficult thing in the
Yeah.
world. I don't understand why people don't want to accept money for a car.
For items that you purchase.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not like, no. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a picture of the money. No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that here's the money.
I've
And they're
actually
like-
got the thing you asked for, and all you need to do me is give me the thing that you've asked it for.
Oh, no. We have to go through some hoops. And that's what's been going on. And the problem is that it's an urgent thing because it's how I get to work.
Yeah.
It's part of my life and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
And also,
I need to put some time into it.
they gave you, my understanding is more of like a family car,
They
replacement
fucking
car.
gave me a Mercedes C-Class, like saloon car.
Yeah.
Previously, I had an estate car, so at least I had the big ass
Yeah.
boot.
I think in America they call those wagons.
Yeah, something like that. A station wagon.
Station wagon, yeah.
I had a big one like that, and they gave me like a normal car with a tiny ass boot. And I've been.
I mean, you have
it's
to fit
been-
like boilers in there, hot water cylinders, pipes, a lot. So like,
So it's really bad. So I need to get a wriggle on that. However, my hand has been forced. I'm not going to be able to get something for a while, and I'll talk about that on the Conbros podcast. But other than that, gaming wise, I
Yeah.
have been playing Jedi Survivor. Yesterday, day before, Showcase
Yeah.
was on as well. We're going to talk all about that in this episode, so you guys can look forward to that. It was this is going to be pretty good. It's a pretty good one. Thank you for asking, bro. Thank you very much for asking. But bro,
yes,
before we get deep into anything.
yeah,
Let's first of all thank some amazing people over at patreon.com/Conbrosations who support us at the Super Bro tier. These legends who keep the lights and mics on and everything happening over here. We appreciate you guys so much. Those people are Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, My Juicy Left Nut, Sabine from Smallville, Mikey T, the Gamer Giant, Jim Heim, and Gamsmaster, the leader of the Empire, the fearless one, the great Lord Vader himself, step cousin, who isn't really anyone of importance. He's just a guy that likes to hang out and eat everyone's food at the family gatherings, and they have to order him a special pizza, and then he fucking gets pissed off when the other kid eats it, and then everyone they bumps into somebody, and then milk gets poured everywhere, and it goes all over the tickets, and then they go in the trash, and then
and that's why they didn't notice he wasn't there.
And you're sleeping with what's the other kid's name that pees the bed all the time?
Oh God,
I don't know that guy.
I do love that. Like they actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Quick streamcast, guys. So people are like, well, what about the extra ticket? No, they actually cover that. It's there. It's in the scene. It's actually an incredibly well written movie from like a planning perspective.
So strange as well, because did you ever see like there was a documentary about like what happened for it to get made and stuff like that. It was like very ragtag, like basically nobody wanted to do it, and it was like very on a low budget, and some of the cast members were causing problems and stuff like that, and eventually they pulled it out, and you would think that that's like, and it was barely written, like it was thought of decent enough clearly. But you're like, it wasn't like, okay, this is going to be a big project. We have to get the best writers or anything like that. And then it just pulled out one of the best movies ever.
This is the thing, right? Is I do think BVS is one of the perfect examples of this. The theatrical cut makes no sense. The theatrical cut of Home Alone makes perfect sense. It's very easy to cut out the scene of someone dumping Pepsi and chucking everything in the bin. Right? But that's why no one noticed Kevin wasn't on the plane, because no one said, why have we got this extra ticket?
Because it would bring up these questions that just poke holes
that
in
annoying
everything.
kid that starts asking the guys about the vans, he's important to the story because the older sister or whatever it is counts his head. Like, it's just really well cut together. And I do think most movies actually have all of that in there, and it's just cut out in the back room. But it has all the scenes that you need, and they made it to the movie, which doesn't happen in BVS. You have to watch the extended cut for it to make any sense.
Exactly.
How did we get onto that? Oh, you were reading the Patreon.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for your support. We love you so much. Thank you so much. So, bro, today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation Showcase that happened just a day or two ago. It's Friday today, so Wednesday it happened.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it because I know that everybody has been, just talking it up online. I've heard, and you've told me, that you said, don't watch it. This is so sensational. I want you to watch some of the stuff on the show. People are saying, you as well, saying this is the gaming event of our generation. Not this generation of consoles, but our generation. We're the generation that grew up playing the SNES, the N64, PS1 through to PS5. And this event is the crowning event. This is the gem. This is the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae, the diamond in the rough.
Exactly. It's the opposite of that. So this event actually, I'm going to explain everything, but overall, I walked away very disappointed.
I thought you were going to say I walked away.
No, shit. I couldn't stand it. I was like, I saw Jim Ryan's face and I was like, no, fuck this, I'm out. No, I was quite disappointed with this.
Yeah.
So this event was being hyped up quite a lot. One, because we haven't heard from Sony when it comes to first-party games in quite a while.
Yeah.
We haven't.
It's been like 700 days since they've released. I'm sorry.
In terms of like announcements and stuff like that, the last time we got a proper showcase or so a proper showing of a game was like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Prior to that, we got the big showcase, the last showcase, and that was over a year ago. It was like 18 months ago. It was back in 2021 in like October, September time. And that was fan-fucking-tastic. We got Spider-Man 2 reveal. We got Wolverine reveal. We got more God of War Ragnarok. We got everything of that thing.
All the things were revealed.
Exactly. And that set the standard for PlayStation showcases. Not state of plays that they do in between.
Yeah. A showcase.
Showcase.
I mean, showcase was... The idea was... This is effectively a trophy case of the trophies you're going to take in the coming years. Right? This is best game 2025. Show it. Now.
So our hype levels were set quite high.
Yeah.
Granted, I know that sometimes we can overhype ourselves, but it was a showcase that hadn't been done for over a year, 18 months.
Yeah. Almost 2 years.
And there were a laundry list of studios, a laundry list of games that they're working on that we hadn't seen yet.
Yep.
and were apparently coming quite soon. So we're like, well, this is going to be the place. This is what they're gearing up to.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Instead, what we got was gameplay of Spider-Man PS5.
Yeah.
We got a couple of CGI trailers for first-party games that are coming out, and most of those are multiplayer games that are kind of new territory for PlayStation fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple of third-party games and a bunch of indie games. No disrespect to indie games, no disrespect to third-party games.
I mean, that's an interesting showcase. That sounds like a great showcase.
This is the thing. The showcase had good games there. It had some peaks. They had some. I'm going to show you some stuff. I'm going to ping you over in Discord some trailers so you can watch sort of in the background. And there's some great talking points.
Yeah.
But nowhere near the level of what it should have been.
Yeah.
There should have been at least like 4 or 5 first-party studios with gameplay, dates. There was barely any dates in the whole thing.
That's frustrating.
Really, really frustrating. And I'm one of the guys now that's become, I'm sure a lot of you guys have become, if there's no gameplay, there's no hype.
Agreed.
You show me a CG trailer, I'll say, all right.
I'm excited to see the Wolverine gameplay.
Right.
That CG trailer, I actually don't want to see any more CG from Wolverine. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in seeing the game play. Yeah.
People were, when that was showing off, some people tried to say, you PlayStation fans are just excited because over this. It's a CG trailer. We wasn't excited for the CG trailer. No. It was a Wolverine game. We're like,
it's a Wolverine game.
We're going to play as Wolverine.
Made by Insomniac.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what we were excited for.
I'm excited because I now know this is in the works.
Yes.
Right? I'm not. The trailer didn't show us anything.
Exactly. And unfortunately, we got a lot more of that.
That's frustrating.
And what was worse was so many studios were just like left out of the mix. There was no like, we didn't get anything from Last of Us Factions, the multiplayer thing that's coming out.
That was one of our predictions, wasn't it? That
exactly.
I mean, we got it right with Spider-Man, obviously, but
we didn't get anything from Sucker Punch, so we don't know what Ghost of Tsushima's doing at the moment. We don't know if there's a second one. Still not been officially confirmed.
Yeah, that's like insane. What else are they going to work on? Let's be honest.
Right,
Sly Cooper.
Let's be honest. And it's been like 3 years, so you think there'd be like a time to show it off now. At least the initial tease for it. Who knows? We didn't get to see. There's a ton more.
We're actually coming up to. We're past the halfway point from when God of War 4 to Ragnarok happened.
Yeah.
And I don't get the impression that Sucker Punch needs more time than it took them to make Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm just looking at the PlayStation studios, and I just want to go through like the list of them. So, Ben Studio is working on a brand new IP. We don't know what they're working on. Team Asobi, who made the Astrobot games, they're working on something. We don't know what they're working on. Bluepoint was acquired. Apparently, they're working on a Silent Hill game. Didn't get to see any of those guys there. Guerrillas, they're making a co-op Horizon game.
Yeah.
Totally didn't see those guys there. Housemarque just released something, so we'll give them a pass over there. As I said,
Housemarque released.
Housemarque, they released their Returnal, but they were recently acquired. So
yeah, that's too soon. So fair enough. Okay.
Exactly. Naughty Dog, like I said, the Last of Us faction thing, and apparently they're working on something else as well, something story driven.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about that.
Nice. So, that's what we want.
Sony Santa Monica Studios. Cory Barlog didn't do anything for. Well, didn't do anything. He wasn't the director on God of War Ragnarok.
Right, because he moved to a different project.
Exactly, because he's working on another project. Didn't see anything from that.
Sick.
Sucker Punch, as I said. All of these studios we didn't see nothing from.
I also saw that there was a Final Fantasy trailer thing, but the only Final Fantasy trailer anybody would be hyped for is Final Fantasy 9.
Of course. They showed 16 and we're all just like, snore.
I am so frustrated at this point because I get that it's a bit of a running joke, but they remade 7 and that was very, very well received because it's an incredible game. 9 is unironically by far my favourite and in my opinion the best Final Fantasy game.
And they're just like,
fuck you.
Now you know how it feels to be a Superman fan.
But look, no one is out there making like Unreal Engine 5 Superman show-off titles to prove that it can be done and that people would be excited for it.
That's the thing that would make it worse for you, is if someone went to the time to remaster like an iconic level from a thing, or remake it in like a beautiful way. And then oh my god, they have as well.
Got hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets. I find it. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves, boys.
That's so fucking dumb. Anyway, as I was saying, this was a letdown. The show itself was okay. It's not what the caliber of event that it should have been. Now, right after the show, I said to myself, and I tweeted this out, I said, do you think PlayStation knows that this was a disappointing, and I put in quotation marks, like a disappointing miss? Because they had to have known what people were expecting. They had to, they know themselves, they have a ton of studios that are completely quiet. We only know of Spider-Man coming up. And that's it. So people were clearly expecting more.
Yeah.
My only thought, and I said this, I promise I said this before I saw what I'm going to say now. I thought, are they holding back for something? Maybe they want to bookend the Summer Games Fest and all that stuff like that.
But you have a showcase.
That's the thing. It's so dumb.
It's literally the point. It's
holding punches doesn't get you anywhere.
No, yeah, that's not the way you do this. By the way, I just checked. May 23rd, which was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
3 days ago, and I retweeted it, it says, a small glimpse from the opening cinematic, real-time in-engine graphics, and it is literally just an airship floating past some houses, 1,100 retweets, 6,328 likes, 80 comments. 3 days old.
So barely barely anything.
And
nobody really cares.
Like it's a nothing post, right? It's just an airship going like this. like people would be really excited for it. Sorry, this is just close to my heart. It really bothers me.
Anyone's excited about
it. Really bothers me. They redid the start screen, and that has 1,970 retweets. Nothing. And 7,600 likes. It's just the menu screen with music.
No one's interested, you see? No one's interested in that.
It hurts so much.
Yeah, as I said, now you know what it's like to be a Superman fan. So as I said, I thought they must be like pulling their punches because...
But why would you do that?
Exactly. Now, just today, literally 9 hours ago, a post on Reddit on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors, where a lot of people like to post like leaks and rumors.
Yeah.
A couple of people have corroborated that maybe Sony actually was pulling their punches and that they possibly have something planned later on, although no one knows about that just yet.
Yeah.
So Tom Henderson said that he knows of a game that is getting a PC port releasing in July.
Okay.
So like 2 months from now, and it wasn't shown at this showcase. He says that he's seen a couple of trailers that he thought, okay, that must be showing at the PlayStation Showcase of games that are going to be announced, but those also weren't at the showcase.
Okay.
And he's heard from a bunch of sources that apparently some games... the Snitch, sorry.
Yeah.
He's heard that apparently there's a bunch of games that are almost ready, almost complete, and also those weren't shown off at the showcase.
That's weird to me.
Strange, right? Now... that all sort of points to the logical answer that maybe they've got another showcase planned. It's super weird why you wouldn't show it here.
Yeah, that is... The thing is, why would you... what doesn't make sense to me, right, is you go, okay, some Game Fest is coming, we're not going to it, fine. We're going to do a showcase beforehand. The last showcase banged.
Yeah.
And it was really good. And it was a year and a half ago.
Off.
A year and a half ago. Let's... shit the bed with one, and we'll just hope Spider-Man carries it, because we'll have a big reveal that no one's guessed what possibly could be this big reveal. No one possibly guessed that. We'll pull the rest of our punches and make it really boring, and then we'll do another one like a month later, and people will be super hyped for it.
Strange.
It doesn't make any sense. It's so weird. It's also so weird because they were so good with their marketing tempo in the last sort of like 2018 when they pulled out of E3. It was 2018, 2017.
Yeah, 2018.
They pulled out of E3, and I was one of the few people who's like, actually, this might be genius. And they've been so good up to exactly about 18 months ago, where that was the last good thing they did, you know, with like actually hitting their timing. Weird, man. Super
Very
weird.
strange. I'll just rattle off a couple of comments from our Discord
Yeah,
server.
buddy.
You guys can join in by clicking the link in the description as well. BS Bro 2 says, I kept my expectations low for the showcase so that I'm not disappointed with the lack of games we got. I'd rather get this weird showcase than CGI Fest, than the CGI Fest from of games that are 3 years away.
Yeah.
I do think PlayStation saved first-party stuff for Summer Games Fest, which is a possibility. It's a bit odd when you have everyone... like this was undoubtedly one of the biggest showcases that are going to be shown over this whole summer period.
Yeah.
I don't know what the logic is for you to think that, no, actually, if we show it somewhere else, it'd be much better. This is where all your eyes are. I don't know.
You have the attention, and that's the number one marketing resource is attention.
Right.
You had it, and you were like, let's disappoint, and then give them another one after what has, in the last 2 years, been one of the most disappointing series of games things, Summerfest or competing with Summer Games Fest. Like, let's do a thing where we have all the eyes, potentially muddy the waters, and we've just disappointed. Yeah, perfect. They could have.
Makes no sense.
They could have taken all the oxygen out of the room for Summer Games. Not that they want to do that, but they could have.
And the next thing that's going to be up just before Summer Games Fest is the Starfield Direct with Xbox. So
Yeah.
this disappointing showcase just makes it, you just teed them up. I don't understand it. Anyway, he continues to say, I do think they saved some first party stuff for Summer Games Fest as they will be attending. Maybe they'll show more stuff there because there's a higher chance of more people seeing it. Wouldn't get my hopes up though. Tailgate says, I think this showcase was mediocre. It definitely could have been better because the one that they held back in 2021 was so much more bombastic in comparison.
Bombastic.
I like that word a lot. I expected more of a presence from Sony first-party game studios after 2 years of silence. Exactly. I'll go through. Some people wrote in with their favorite stuff. I'll go through after we talk about the games that were shown. Going in. Oh no! Wait. I love seeing new abilities. Cryptic writes in. He says, "Awful showcase. Hated 90% of it." That's some pessimistic talk right there. But yeah, it's up to you. It's your own taste. Burst into laughter at the terrible Assassin's Creed Mirage trailer. Okay, he's gonna go into more detail stuff, but overall, he's disappointed. Greatly worried about the state of gaming, especially since, to me, I was really hyped for 2023 gaming. In gaming, and yet the first half has provided nothing new that I have much interest in. So just feeling so disappointed. I hear that, boy. I hear that. Yeah. David Sydney says event was pretty mid overall, and honestly, it didn't have to be. A good number of projects shown could have been released. Could have been left for something else, in my opinion. Sony can and should do better. Yeah, that's all they wrote in there. Thank you very much for writing in there. Generally, just everyone was really disappointed.
This is the thing.
Can I just say, just before I go on, I don't want to make it sound like it was just crap. There were good games there, and I'm going to go through them. You're going to hear how enthusiastic I am about them. But the expectations were completely different.
Yep.
If I'm expecting a cheesecake and you give me an apple, very
Could
different.
be the best apple you've ever had,
right?
But it's not.
I was expecting something different. That's just the only thing.
The other thing is, I definitely get the impression, having not seen it, because I was thankfully forewarned. In fact, you were like, "Don't watch it. It's not very good." And I was like,
70 minutes.
I was like, bold of you to assume I had the time. But I got the impression, and I don't know what else is there except for the two things we just watched before to catch me up to speed. I get the impression they were like, oh, well, we're going to throw Spider-Man 2 in there. It's one of the best games of all time. Spider-Man PS4 is the most completed game of all time, the most complete PS title, one of the most played games. Like,
genuinely what it felt like. It felt like they were like, Spider-Man will carry it all.
Yeah.
We don't need to try.
But no, it won't. Spider-Man will carry its own time.
Yeah.
That's the thing that none of these companies get, is that you're doing Xbox. Previously, Xbox understood the pacing and Sony understood the content, and they never got married the two. Yeah. And this time, they've just pulled an Xbox. They've just pulled a Microsoft and shown At least they didn't show, no, it's not build, guys. At least they didn't show that.
Yeah.
At least it banged, but still, like...
I will say, maybe, this is just stupid of them to assume because so many more people are excited for other things, but maybe they were just absolutely terrified that Spider-Man would drown out anything else that they show. It's
that sounds
dumb.
like bullshit to me.
It's right. I'm just thinking maybe they're suits and they don't get it.
And I appreciate that what you're doing is not saying that. You're saying, maybe somebody thought this.
Yeah.
But why would they then show like Horizon and God of War at the same time?
Right?
Like, and that no one ever went, man, Horizon looks shit now because I've seen the God of War.
Right.
No one ever's done that. No, in fact, the only reason Horizon isn't more popular is because both times they released it against two global phenomena.
Yeah.
They released it against, was it Breath of the Wild and then Elden Ring? That is the only reason, and they are still banging games. Even I hate Aloy and Zero Dawn, cannot deny that the game itself, the experience playing the game is great. It is gorgeous. The story's good. Like, it's just her that's the problem. The connector is the issue for me. But otherwise, like, it's fantastic. They are gorgeous. Great games. No one ever went, well, I'm not going to play God of War now because Horizon's out, or vice versa. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It
Dumb.
is a stupid one.
Idiotic. So I
But I don't put it past the idiots at Sony to actually not think that.
know. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Anyway, so as I said, the showcase was a little bit mid. There are rumors circulating that there's going to be another show, or they're going to show stuff at Summer Games Fest based on insiders having seen games that weren't shown at the thing and having knowledge of games being almost ready and still not being shown. So at least we possibly maybe have something like that to look forward to, but not knowing is the worst part right now. And yeah.
The thing is as well, it's not just not knowing. We don't know about some very important projects.
Yes.
So I would argue potentially the most important projects. For example, I would argue that Wolverine is more important than Spider-Man because we know what we get with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would actually go as far as to say there is zero chance Insomniac is shitting the bed on this.
Definitely Sucker Punch.
I was gonna do. It's because I do the bit so often, and I was like, do you know what? We should just talk about it. There is zero chance Sucker Punch dropping the ball on them.
Yeah.
Right. They first of all, it's Insomniac. Right. They just it's Insomniac.
Yeah.
For one, right? Like, good enough. And two, like, it's their bread and butter. It's their bread and butter type of game. It is their bread and butter franchise at this point. Like, they're not going to drop the ball on that.
Yeah.
What we actually need is to see how we're going to play Wolverine. Wouldn't have cared if it was 30 seconds. You know,
that's the thing. Right now, we just don't know what it's going to be like.
Right.
We just don't know. Is it an open world thing? Is it a highly linear thing?
Yeah.
Is it third person? Is it first person? But probably won't be first person.
Realistically.
But still,
like,
we just
can
don't
make some
know.
assumptions.
Yeah.
And ironically, bringing up Sucker Punch, the thing that Sucker Punch and Insomniac do both so well with Infamous and Spider-Man is their traversal system. So the thing that I want to know is, how am I going to navigate where? First of all, where is it set? We have no idea.
Yeah.
Right. For all you know, he gets sent back in time by some mutant, and you're in, like, fighting dinosaurs like it's an old school Turok remake.
We just don't know.
Did you ever play Turok on the N64?
I know of it. I didn't play it though.
Like,
and also it's R-rated, so we want to, like, how R-rated? This is still PlayStation, and you still want to appeal to a wide audience because it's business end of the day.
yeah.
But it's going to be R-rated, and we saw a lot of blood in that teaser. How? There's a lot of questions.
Right.
And we want to see that.
So, like, my real big question is, because I actually don't really care what the story is. It's Wolverine, right? It's angry guy with metal blades in his hand, chops up people,
Yeah.
right? You can put that in pretty much any scenario, and I'm still interested.
Yeah.
What I need to know is, and again, because it's Insomniac, and this is what I'm really interested in, and it's one of the things that you enjoy. What do you do once you finish Spider-Man? You just web around New York for days, right? When you're done with GTA, what do? You drive around obeying the traffic laws.
Yeah.
How am I traversing the system? Because I don't feel like I want to be driving around. I feel like I want to jump out of a skyscraper and claw down the side of a building all the way, you know, and then run and jump and do the same thing. Like, that's what I want to do.
See, there's a lot of questions.
Show me that. Show me 5 seconds of that.
Yeah.
And then I'm good.
But no. But no. Okay. I'm gonna now go into the showcase and what they showed.
Yeah.
There's going to be some links that I send to you over on Discord, so if you want to pull that up, and
buddy.
you can maybe unmute, like look at the trailers every now and again and stuff like that. When I tell you, not all the time. And I'm going to go in order. So for you guys that are listening at home, this is how they all showed it. So first game they showed off was actually the game that Haven Studios is working on with Jade Raymond. So we finally got to see that. It was just a CG trailer. I've sent you the link for that if you want to have a look at it. It's called Fair Games, but the S is a $sign.
Fair Game $sign.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
No,
you mispronounced it. It's Fair Game $sign. Do you remember when
games used to have good names?
do you remember we were having tons of fun playing Battlefield 4?
Yes.
And then they brought out 5, but it wasn't called 5. It was called like...
It was V, wasn't it?
Something like that. And it was like banks, cops and robbers or something.
Oh, your Hardline.
Hardline.
That was it.
And I was like, oh, this could be really good.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of different ways you could do it. Like at the time, there was another heist game where like you had to beat.
Was it Payday?
It was Payday,
Yeah.
and I was like, you do some Payday stuff. You can still do like the cops and robbers. You just the maps would be banks or whatever. Like there's so many cool ideas you could do with this. It could be amazing. And what was it? Not amazing.
No, it
not
wasn't.
fun at all.
It was not. So, Fair Game is the game that Haven Studios is making. They were purchased by PlayStation, so they're PlayStation first party now.
They were
And-
one of the unusual ones. They didn't really have any track record.
Right. They said Jade Raymond, and I was like, she's a producer. Like, how much gaming knowledge does she have? And anyway, they're making this game. It's a competitive heist experience game coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. Interesting that it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. Confirming what we said, that like the multiplayer games they make should also come to PC. To be fair, we said that they should also come to other platforms as well, because like multiplayer more people is better.
First of all, more people playing a multiplayer game is just better. Better for population on the servers, all sorts of stuff. You should just have crossplay. Totally agree. If I buy the digital version of this game, I expect to pay the same price as PC gamers.
Yeah. Just facts.
I'm genuinely not okay with that. We make the argument, you want to play these games, $70 makes sense, right? For Ghost of Tsushima 2, for Spider-Man, for God of War, $70 makes sense, right? Okay. And I do believe that. But if you're willing to sell it to PC gamers at 35 or whatever it is, I'm not okay to buy it at 70.
Part of the excuse, they say, is that there's licensing fees on platforms. So if you go buy a Battlefield, for example, PlayStation take a cut on it on their own platform. This is first party.
That's what I'm saying.
PlayStation are taking the whole thing. There's no cuts to be done.
That's what I'm saying.
So it has to be. If it isn't, I'm going to be so pissed.
There's no reason for this digital copy to cost 70 on one or whatever it is and half price on PC. That's ridiculous, and I'm against it. And I don't get, you can game share. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You should game share the half price.
And we're your customers as well. We're we're the main supporters of your system, of your ecosystem. Treat us well. Anyway, so Fair Games is as I said, it's a competitive heist experience. So it's going to be PvP, and it's going to be stealing stuff from in certain like locations and stuff. I'll read a little bit of the blurb on the PlayStation blog. The team and I are super excited to finally unveil the project we've been working on over here at Haven. Our first IP, Fair Games $sign, is a fresh modern take on the heist genre. In a nutshell, this is a thrilling competitive heist game.
It worries me when someone says a fresh modern take.
I don't like it. It doesn't instill confidence like you think it does. A competitive heist game where you join an underground movement to rob ultra-rich and rebalance the scales. If you look at are you looking at the trailer by any
I've just
chance?
watched it,
So the trailer, as you can see, is very like sort of futuristic, very colourful.
It's a trailer.
And stuff
Trailers
like
always
that.
look good.
And it's all
So
CG, so
Yeah.
no gameplay whatsoever. I don't know if you
That's
got...
what I meant, sorry, when I said trailers. It's completely not what I'm going to experience.
It maybe gives you the art style vibes, but that's about it.
You played Command and Conquer back in the day, didn't you?
Yes.
And those sorts of games. CG trailers in those all the time. Nothing to do with the game. Like tanks rolling into Russia or whatever. Like, but what you actually play is a few pixels moving around.
it's not the same.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
I'm interested because it is something different.
Well, because it's a fresh, new take on.
A fresh take on the heist genre, which I didn't know was a genre.
It's not a genre. It's not a genre.
I'll give it a shot. We don't know anything else about it really. It's very, very brand new. It's a brand new studio. We don't have any track record to work with them. The style kind of looks interesting. It looks very Watchdog vibes, and that's because the guy who's designing this as well also worked on Watch Dogs. So you've got that sort of that feeling in there. I don't know what else to say about them.
One of the comments down the bottom of my scroll, it says, "This is literally hyenas."
Oh, is there a game called Hyenas and it's like that?
There's a few games similar to this actually. I'm just having a quick look through. And this guy's probably got a point. So somebody was like, I'm cautiously optimistic, blah, blah. The comment below just goes, generic looking live service crap.
Do you know what? This is a reoccurring theme. On the PlayStation blog, the comments are largely negative of a lot of the stuff they showed at the showcase.
Yeah.
On Twitter and YouTube comments, it's a lot more positive. I don't know what it is. Maybe the weirdos just gravitate to the PlayStation blog. I've never felt to comment on the PlayStation blog. So
well, you have a life.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I don't know what kind of people go there, but
so
there you go.
This comment is negative, but this feels like actually somebody that maybe plays these types of games. He goes, I don't know why he actually wrote the full name. Fair Game $. Lost me at PvP. Bye. Now that sounds like somebody that actually does play these heist games. Or like, I thought it would be cool to heist game where you pay potentially, and this for Hardline, you play like the robbers and the cops, and almost in a Rainbow Six Siege type way where like if you're in the bank you have to achieve all these objectives to get through the heist, and if you're the cops you have to achieve objectives, and the PvP initially is you setting up reasons why they can't use the cameras in the bank, as an example, right? Like effectively counter hacking or turning off the security systems, and then as the cop you have to turn it back on, that sort of thing, the team. And then eventually obviously you'd have some gunfighting, right? But it's puzzles and stuff. I don't think the heist genre guys want to be in gunfights. They want to be doing a heist, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into this. I'm not in this genre. I'm not into PvP as much. And
equally, some of these comments, it's hard to tell. Pinch of salt. Fuck communism and PC.
I saw that as well, and I was like, what? What?
Like,
what?
I just at worst, this is like a Robin Hood kind of thing. And one of the other comments says just always like, yeah, screw this, all billionaires are evil crap. Like, first of all, how did you get that from this video game about robbing banks?
It's so strange.
And billionaires and stuff like
these comments are so weird. Anyway, I'm not gonna completely like say no, I hate this idea. However, obviously there is this like friction because we're all in the PlayStation ecosystem and primarily we're playing like story, narrative, single player heavy games. And this is a bit of a change.
Sorry, bro.
I will try. No, I liked it. Don't worry about it. Feet touching is great.
Yeah, that's on the $69 on the Patreon. There's a foot cam. Don't worry.
But I will give it a shot.
Yeah.
It might not be for me, but at least I'll give it a shot. And you do have to give PlayStation the balls for trying.
We will try these things out. One, because we like to be in the conversation. Two, because we game share. And you should, by the way. I know we're all Sony Pony. You should pay $70 for a game. And those games, I do think are worth it. And I do like, although we could game share like Ghost of Tsushima, I bought it twice. I bought PS4, I bought PS5 so I could get a physical edition. I think we also game shared the PS5. I think I've got 3 versions of it. So, like, I'll pay. I'm happy to pay, but in general, you should be game sharing. And then if you find something you really love, go and buy some extra stuff. And if you can, get it from the guys producing it. Don't buy it from someone else.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they get as much money as possible to show your support. And then
no, I appreciate like you want it.
Yeah.
Have it for yourself. Yeah, but if you have the option, and it's feasible and it's not like a ridiculous difference, try and get it from the people that made it, so that they'll hopefully make it again and put in that same effort. Equally, we do game share. You should game share. don't pay $70 for stuff if you don't have it, especially if you're a student, and it's an option. Like, this isn't abusing the system.
Yeah.
The system exists. That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
Game share. You should do that. Anyway.
So this game, that was all that was shown. There was no release date shown, and that was that. The next game that was shown up, Helldivers 2, coming to PS5 and PC later this year. I only like this trailer because it gave me Starship Trooper vibes.
Yeah.
It was like in a suburban place. It's like, your country needs you. And then in the background, an alien pops out and devours the family. And we're like, oh, the horror.
Would you like to know more?
That kind of thing. It was
I love
cool.
that.
The next game, Immortals of Evaeum.
Is this the magic shooter? Yeah.
Yes. Same trailer. I got the same vibes from it where I felt a little bit overwhelmed because there was a lot of like magic going along. It might be better to play when it comes out, but that's coming out July 20th, 2023, so very close, in fact. That.
I'm, again, cautiously optimistic for that, where...
It's got the EA logo on it, so...
Right, but if it's done properly,
Yeah.
like... for the record as well, I think Warzone's stupid, but like Warzone, Fortnite, Apex Legends, make the game free, make some badass skins. You can have, like Fortnite, you download it, you just play it. No. If you're happy with just the crappy stuff that you get on the free battle pass or whatever, fine. If you want better stuff, you can buy it. You know, if you want cheap better stuff, you can just buy the battle pass and earn enough points to get the next one. Like, it's a really good system. That's the way to do things. Incentivize people to buy, but don't give them any disabilities for not doing it. Fingers crossed.
I feel like
but then
EA
again,
have come a long way since those times.
Since Battlefront 2, where they literally kissed goodbye to... I legit, no joke, and I'm really not joking, I think they kissed goodbye to a couple $100 million, if not more.
They did.
Like, put it this way, Fortnite was doing $250 million months at its height, I believe. I think they easily kissed the 250 million away.
And what's worse is that they had Battlefront 3 almost ready, like we heard, and they just didn't have the balls to own up to their mistake and just make the good game. Anyway, the next game that was shown was Ghost Runner 2. Did you ever play Ghost Runner 1?
Don't think I did.
I didn't play it, but it was that very cool, like, cyberpunk, cybernetic guy, and you got like a blade, and you
love me some
very
cyberpunk
cool
vibes.
stuff. So number 2's coming out, releasing sometime this year. Now, this game, oh my goodness, you're gonna love this one. I'm gonna send you the PlayStation blog link so you can check it out. This is called Phantom Blade Zero. Interesting story with this. They're a Chinese developer who made a...
I don't know about sending money to China.
I think China themselves, maybe not the best place, but there are still great people there.
Oh, the Chinese?
Yes.
No problem with them at all. That's not my beef. It's the fact that where the money goes once it enters the Chinese company that is my issue.
It's unfortunate. So this is a company, a development company called S-Game. They founded a company called S-Game, and they made a Phantom, what they call Phantom Blade, they called it, for mobile. They made a mobile game.
This is a mobile game?
No.
I was going to say, there's no way this is a mobile game. Yeah.
They made a mobile game, and it was apparently fantastic. However, it never left China, and they managed to get like 20 million players. It was massively successful.
Yeah.
And then they're doing now what they really wanted to do, is to make a console game. They've chose PlayStation 5, and it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC, and it looks like this. It looks fucking amazing.
I'm getting basically Asian Elden Ring vibes from it.
Yes. Oh my god, this was one of the peaks of the whole showcase.
This does look fantastic. Yeah.
My jaw was dropped the entire time. The movements, the way the blades are working, how good it looks, the character models, the variety in different enemies. There's such good art in all of this. It looked beautiful, and I can't wait for this. Let me just check to see if there was a release date on this one. No release date was shown, unfortunately, but they showed so much of the game, you have to think it's sometime soon.
Also, this is some, at least outside of China, completely unknown company. And what do they show off? It's not a CG trailer. This is all. There's bunches of in-game footage, gameplay. Why aren't we seeing that from Wolverine? Why aren't we seeing that from Haven?
Really showed up PlayStation Studios, this one
Yeah.
Chinese company that previously made one mobile game.
And look, in fairness, it might be way closer to completion than those other projects, but then look at what they've chosen to show and at what point in its development.
Yeah.
Like, this seems to be basically ready.
Yeah, it seems to be. If you scroll down in the PlayStation blog, you get to see some screenshots of just how gorgeous everything is, and just the variety of enemies and the designs. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah,
This was really a highlight of the whole show.
this is very impressive.
Yeah.
It looks very good. Again, if it's like Sekiro / Elden Ring levels of difficulty, I'm out. I'm just not interested in that. But if it's
We'll see.
if it's more of like a regular like hack and slash or Ghost of Tsushima type game, I'm fully down.
I do get the feeling it's going to be like Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Dark Souls type
It looks
stuff,
that way, and I also, for its own health, I think it probably should be. Again, this really bothers me, that people cannot divorce how good a thing is from how much they like it. Like Elden Ring, I actually put a good amount of time in it. I hated it. I hated everything about the experience. Like, I was fat rolling for the stuff, which I only know now because you've told me.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, no, that's not okay. The game should tell me this stuff.
Yeah.
But some people love that. I think it's a brilliant game, and I think there's an incredible story in there. I just wasn't able to access it, and I don't care to play that game. Sifu was really good. I hated it, but it is good. This looks really good. I just hate the CCP.
That's it.
Ironically, this is apparently true.
Go on.
If you're getting trolled by Chinese players and their mic picks up your mic, you say the date of Tiananmen Square. You say Tiananmen Square, 1972, whatever, and they get pulled out of the game. Apparently, that's real
That's hilarious.
because they censor the events, right?
That would be so. I want to research that and find out if that's true.
I really want it to
That'd
be
be
true, but
hilarious.
also I don't find myself in any really toxic lobbies anymore. Especially because in most of these games, Fortnite or Apex is 3 or 4 people at most. Most people aren't running their mics.
Yeah.
And then what's the chance that you run into a Chinese guy who's being shitty?
Right.
But I would love to know if it really is true.
Getting matchmaked with China is probably difficult as well.
Yeah. I choose to believe that it's true, but I have no way to verify. Also, how ignorant would you feel if you're like, Tiananmen Square, blah, blah, and the guy just types back, I'm Japanese, you moron, or Korean, and saying no!
I'm Vietnamese.
Oh, so sorry.
Oh, shit. Who's the racist one now?
This looks gorgeous, though. This is the
amazing.
sort of thing that they should be showing. And when I say they, I mean, I was going to say something really racist, but it's not the Conbros podcast. Any company at any games event, this is how they should show it. And the fact that Sony didn't have more of this is actually really frustrating.
Yeah.
And I'll be even angrier if they actually saved their punches for something else.
Yeah, the thing is, it'll be one of those situations where man, you guys are fucking idiots for doing this.
Yeah.
However, I'm too busy enjoying the fucking stuff you're showing, and I'm gonna
Also,
forgive you.
what if they're waiting to be closer to Starfield, betting that will suck, and then they can put all their big hitters in front of it? Here's the thing. One, I don't think Starfield needs the help committing suicide.
Yeah, I think it's gonna do that on its own.
Two, if it is bad, or as bad as you think it is because you're willing to put your best stuff next to it,
Yeah.
then you can still front load it and people will still be talking about it. They'll refer back to it and be like, look what Sony put out and look how many it put out all together.
Exactly.
You don't actually need to be that close and try and suck the wind out of it.
And
You're
also
the likelihood that this is going to be an Elden Ring level thing that you show compared to them, so low. Because they're looking and going, well, Elden Ring was a great game and it sucked all the oxygen out of the room for Horizon. So we could do that to Starfield in case it's good, but the difference in game isn't relevant,
They completely misjudged it if that's what they
I agree.
The next game that they showed off was Swords of the Sea, which is a game from the same makers who made the game Abzu. Do you know about Abzu?
No.
It's a very beautiful looking game. The art style is very good, and it's the same art director for that as well. No release release date was shown for that. The Talos Principle 2. Have you heard of Talos Principle?
This sounds familiar, but
It didn't look familiar to me. I didn't know anything about it, but the guys in the chat were like, "Oh, Talos Principle 1 was good, and apparently it's releasing later this year."
I need to do some googling for that. Sorry, because I've got a savage headache for no reason, just out the blue. So bear with me taking all my
It
pills.
was talking about a dumb Sony, isn't it? That's what it is. A game called Never, which almost made me cry on stream. There was I guess they're technically wolves anyway. There was like a giant wolf, and then some like shadows came to attack this one woman, this one person who's got a blade in her hand, and the shadows sweep in, and the doggo is attacking the shadow people, and then the doggo dies, and you're like,
Whoa,
no,
spoilers!
no,
Right.
no, and then there's a smaller doggo that comes out from somewhere, and the smaller doggo hugs the woman while the big doggo is in the back, and you're like,
Do you
fuck
play
you,
as the
Sony.
puppy?
Sorry.
It's like a Stray, but you play as the puppy now.
I think they're both together. I think one of the smaller one might be the kid of the bigger doggo,
right.
and they just sort of like they like hug and stuff like that. But you play as the girl, I imagine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anyway,
I can't
was
find it.
Very upsetting. Very upsetting. Releasing 2024 that game, Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean. Not gonna say anything about that. And then the next game, arguably the worst game ever to exist. I'm gonna send you the trailer.
I'm just hold a minute. I'm looking through Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, you wanna see that? You wanna see that?
Unironically, this looks stupid and kind of fun.
That's the thing. It's not. I'm not saying anything
It's
bad
not
about
a
it.
showcase game. I don't want this in my Sony
That's the
showcase,
issue.
but this does look like fun. This does look like a what's a game that's like the after The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I took a few days off gaming. This would have been a great palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Which, to be clear, incredible game, one of the best games ever made. But this would have been a very nice change of pace, warm back up into gaming for me.
Yeah.
That would have been that's a great vibe for it.
The next game that was shown off, Foam Stars.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, this was literally the worst thing ever. It is essentially Square Enix's version of Splatoon.
Okay.
It's trying so hard to be Splatoon because clearly like some suits got
Splatoon
into...
isn't like wildly successful.
It is, but on Switch.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not. Well, that's what I mean. Like, no one's going, "Oh, I don't play Fortnite, bro. I only play Splatoon."
Right,
you know?
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's really that it's a colourful, kid-friendly game that kids play on their Switch.
Right.
It's all right. It's nothing. And they clearly just went, oh my God, look at how much they sold over there.
Yeah.
You guys need to make one as well for us because we want to make lots of Splatoon money.
But here's the thing where I think Splatoon got it right. They weren't shooting cum at each other.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
You know?
And also, do you notice when they're doing first? It starts off with like a CG trailer, and it's very high quality.
Yeah.
It's all stuff like that. And then when it switches to gameplay, it
looks
changes rapidly.
Yeah, it looks like it's being played on a PSP or something.
Yeah, it's
you know?
very, very different, and it's so like rough.
It kind of looks like a mobile game for sure. Yeah.
I'm like, this is, and I don't want to be in this foam party. I don't want to play in this foam party. Foam Stars.
Yay.
Anyway,
Pass.
the very, very lowest point of the show for sure, very low. And then we got something great.
Okay.
We got a CG trailer, a tease for Metal Gear Solid Delta, a 3 remake. And here's something interesting. It came out on Twitter
Yeah.
that apparently
Yeah.
David Hayter is going to be Snake again.
How old is he?
I don't know how old he is as well. Do you know what? Do a little Google search for me. But I'll tell you something.
Sorry, I'm just. Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Let me just double check as well. How old is he? Well, he wants to play Wolverine as well, so I don't know, like...
I can't do maths. This is 21.
54.
50. Okay, it's perfectly reasonable. Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable. As well, he's a voice actor as well. But here's the thing. I'm getting weird reports. Some people are saying that the original cast are coming back to reprise their roles in the remake.
Okay.
Not all of them are probably going to be up for it, right?
Probably not.
Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also some of them probably dead. I don't know how many of them are alive still. But anyway, this was a huge reveal and a lot of people were very excited. I'm not the biggest Metal Gear Solid fan out there. I like Metal Gear Solid. I played a couple of Metal Gear Solid games. It's got a part of my PS2 memories.
I was going to say...
But I'm not like...
Use your words.
who's the guy that does the editing for As Always?
Oh, freaking Josh.
Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
He's a huge fan. And I saw his reaction video where he just jizzed all over the screen. It just went white.
Yeah, I'm not a target audience for this because, as you guys will well know, I'm a stealth is optional kind of guy. I
Yeah.
did, back in the PS2 days, play whatever I could get my hands on. Metal Gear was one of those. And it was really tough if you don't know about stealth. And I was just like, I don't like this game because it's like a Souls-type game if you're not doing stealth. So I
It's
never...
super difficult.
Yeah, I never really vibed with MGS, and so cool, I guess. You know,
It was very cool for the people who went there, and I'm sure a lot of people, and they didn't say at the time that David Hayter was coming back to give his voice. Now it could be that people are misunderstanding what they said, that David Hayter is back for his voice. It could be they're using the same original voice that they had in the game, and they're putting it in the new game. They're not touching it, or it could be.
I mean, I feel like the audio would be so out of date.
I don't know.
The quality would just be so far off.
It's just, it feels like it's a bit much for them to get all of the voice actors back, and that's what they implied in some of these articles. He might be coming back, he might not be, but either way, it's either the original sound, the original voice acted lines, which is great, or the original guys coming back to do it. So that's fantastic as well.
It's all good news. Everything's coming up, MGS fans.
Exactly. Next we got let me just pull it up here, just double check. Foam Stars, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. They also announced the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 Master Collection, which has got a bunch of remastered games. Us God of War fans were looking at that like, we wanted a God of War 1 and 2 and 3.
The thing about God of War 1 through 3 and were they DLCs or standalones?
PSP games and stuff like that.
Very, very different style of game.
Yeah. But still, remake them.
I do think they should. I think they should maintain that same sort of style.
Yeah.
And then you potentially, depends how you want to do it, you maybe actually make some additions where it's Kratos telling Atreus about finally opening up about what he was like. Or it's like a PTSD flashback, and then you cut to the game. That's why it looks so different, because he's now retelling it.
Right.
But this is not a Kratos that you know.
Yeah.
Like, not only he's way more violent.
Yeah.
Kratos is way more violent, right? Like, this is a Kratos who also he's kind of cruel and malicious, right? Like
right in the beginning, the boat captain just like take his key, throw him down the throat of a Hydra. It's like I don't care.
Put it this way: in the new gen games, he carries around a dude's head. In the old gen games, he carries around a dude's head.
Different reasons.
These are not the same thing, you know. In the old gen games, actually, I know he does this in the new gen games, but like, he cuts that dude's head off.
Yeah.
And also Medusa's, he kind of takes head. He's a head collector, you know.
He likes head. We all do.
Who doesn't? You know. It's a different Kratos, and he has problems, and all of them's the solution is hit it harder. That is the solution to problems. You know the Kratos who tries to problem solve, right? Who tries to say, actually, maybe getting soaked head to toe in somebody else's blood isn't so fun.
Maybe control.
Maybe I shouldn't do that in front of my kid.
Yeah.
I'll try and talk him out of it, right? I would love for you to play those games, though. I think
I played the 1 and 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
actually, I didn't know you. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Oh, so I
Platinum
misspoke.
holder here.
Cool. Because
I'm in the process. I got caught up in stuff, but yeah.
yeah, because I was gonna say, if you didn't know that Kratos, it can be, which I'm glad that you do, because probably Kratos makes a bit more sense to you. Why is this guy not terrified of the fact that he might have to face Odin and all of the pantheon of like Norse gods. And if you realize that he's not just, you know, a guy who's tough, he's actually done this before successfully. Like, he'll move if he wants to, you know, like, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want the hassle. He wants to keep Atreus safe. But if he needs to kill his way through a bunch of other gods, he'll do it.
Sharp.
Right. And I do think people that only know Kratos from these new gen games,
it will be very different for them.
Yeah, like me and the dudes that played it, also such a stark change from the Kratos that we knew, where like this Kratos is quiet and contemplates and thinks and tries to solve problems and tries not to fight. It's
Ares. It's very different.
What's that? I think it's one of the Avengers movies where someone's saying like, I think it's Black Widow saying like, you know, most guys trying to show how tough they are, that they can get in a fight, and you're trying to avoid a fight because you know you'll win. To Bruce, Kratos.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's Kratos in the new gen. And if you didn't experience that first bit, like, it's so... Anyway, sorry. Those games are so good. I'm going to replay everything.
About them.
Yeah, I'm going to replay that whole series. I'm going to do it. After I've played Jedi Survivor and Horizon Burning Shores.
I was going to say, all these other games are on the back burner. The next game they showed was Towers of Agasba. Yeah. I don't remember it, actually, so that's probably a bad sign for it.
Let's have a look.
Does it say anything? Do you have anything?
I'm going to watch this video real quick.
It says where you build a civilization. That
weird. I'm sure somebody will have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
But I don't know who that is. And the gameplay that I'm watching doesn't suggest that it's a civilization builder. But then there are scenes of you building cities. This is weird. This is strange.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one now.
I mean, by all means, boys, let me know what you think about this Towers of Gaspa.
Strange.
But not for me. I'll probably skip it. Looks nice, but I'll probably skip it.
The next game they showed off was another trailer, the launch trailer for Final Fantasy 16. Looked fan-fucking-tastic. I can't believe how much I'm not like a Final Fantasy guy. I've not played any of the other games, and I'm just orgasming over this for some reason. It looked great. Releasing in less than a month, June 22nd, so that's coming up really soon. Then they dropped something big. 505 Games dropped... Sorry, Remedy Games, not 505 Games. Remedy...
Why did you get that? That's a big difference.
Dropped Alan Wake 2. And Alpha creamed in the chat.
Mate, I bet he just fully dehydrated like that scary movie scene. Yeah.
Funny thing is that he was trying to write "I am screaming" and he wrote "I am creaming," which is just perfect.
That is actually perfect.
It looked actually fantastic, and I've got the trailer for you. I'm gonna swing your way. It looked beautiful. Like, on top of it looking gorgeous, it also looked very spooky. It looked very Remedy. I
gotta say, this is the thing. I'll just stop you there because you said it looked very spooky. I liked Control because it was intriguing, but not like scary for the most part. Like, there were some kind of creepy bits, but for the most part, like, what is going on? Alan Wake, from what I saw, because Alpha streamed a bit of it, and I turned up for something. I'm like, nah, this isn't the same sort of Control fun. It is much more like creepy, scary type stuff. There was one mission in Control that I just noped out of, where one of the side things is like one of those, not haunted, but you know, it's what are those items called?
Fuck.
It's one of the special items that has like a demony thingy in it. And it was a mannequin, and every time you turned away from the actual one, they got closer, and I noped out of there within about 30 seconds. I'm not doing that. But all the other stuff was good fun. Like that fridge that you look away from where it kills you. Like, that wasn't scary. That wasn't creepy. It was like, man, we need to deal with this.
They do psychological horror very well. I like their style a lot, and they're quite unique in the system. coming October 17th. So this year they just shadow dropped this, and it's coming out in a matter of months. I love it. I love that style.
Yeah.
I wish PlayStation had adopted that style too. Then we saw Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm over Ubisoft games. Don't really need to see them anymore.
Yeah.
However, I do have to be honest, and I do want to admit that this looks.
It actually does look good.
It looked like a nice Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to buy it. I'm still
Yeah.
going to play a Ubisoft game. I've got other things I want to play.
Yeah.
But if you are an Assassin's Creed fan and you do desperately want to play them and you don't care about the stuff that's going on with them, then you're probably... It looks like it might be something decent.
And
I'm just going to go and say that.
I did see a bit of it. I didn't get the impression that it was an 80-hour-long game that doesn't respect your time. So at least there's that.
And the Assassin's Blade actually kills people this time, apparently. So
Right, exactly. It looks like they went, everything we're doing sucks. We can't make games like the people that can't even make that same game that they made.
Trying to replicate.
Yeah, let's maybe just do the thing we're good at.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So they'll go back to... Do you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I was just going to... Yep. No. Anyway, it looks like they made a decent enough AC game, so good for them.
October 12th, coming out this year.
Yay.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6 was another game they showed out. I don't know about this game. I'm not a Street Fighter fan, so this isn't for me. But the idea is that you're playing as a character against all of the Street Fighter people. I thought the fun of Street Fighter was playing as those people, as those characters. As like Guile and Ryu and Ryu? Is that, all the characters from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
However, you're fighting against them. So I don't know. Maybe the Street Fighter community love it. I don't know.
I mean,
We're not in that, so that's the problem.
it's...
June 2nd, so it's coming out very soon.
I will say I do get that. And it's been a long time since I've hit these sorts of games, like Tekken 2 type stuff, But I do agree with you, at least back then, what I was into was playing as King and fighting everybody else. Or what was that dude? Yoshimura?
I'm going to say...
Yoshimitsu!
I think King might be Mortal Kombat. Oh, Tekken.
Tekken. I said Tekken 2.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah,
I blanked out for a second there.
King, Yoshimitsu, Hwoarang, all those dudes, right?
The guy with the red glove with the dots on them.
Yeah. Like...
The ball bearings.
Mate, imagine getting... Besides the point. Like, having a main, somebody that you played as, and like... For me, that seems to be the approach. But I mean, maybe this is a game where they're hardcore dudes that have been playing Tekken since Tekken 1 all the way through, or Street Fighter, wherever, have been saying, like, I actually want to do a character creation, or want to... I don't know how it works, but if it was a case of like, okay, you build your character to make it look like you or however you want to look, like, people have plenty of fun with the Elden Ring character designer, and then I want to put stats into certain martial arts or something, or like kicks or strikes or what defense or whatever, then okay, I guess, but I still want to play as King.
Yeah.
Good for you, but I'm going to play as the dude with the tiger head and we're not actually sure if it's a mask. I know it's a leopard, fuck off. Don't come at me, Chris. I know it's a leopard. Leave me alone.
He's ready to pounce. Like the leopard. Yeah, so that was showing off. Good for the fighting community, guys. Then we were shown Dragon's Dogma 2, and that actually looked really nice. There was no release date given, but... I mean, I didn't play Dragon Dogma 1, and Dragon Dogma 2, it looked good. So... And people said to me, actually, that Dragon's Dogma 1 actually was a good game. So, if that's true, then this is going to be even more...
Skipping my way through the...
Dragon's Dogma.
Capcom, so that's, like, good. It looks very JRPG meets, not Elden Ring, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a bit of, like, a Skyrim-ish vibe to it, right? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, this could be good.
Yeah, it could be quite fun. And then we got into a bit of PSVR 2 games. They showed off a couple of those. Five Nights at Freddy Help Wanted 2.
No, thank you.
Perfect for PSVR, I think. Perfect.
No, I don't want to soil myself in my own home.
You want that thing where you cover your eyes, you can't.
Oh, God.
Resident Evil 4, the remake that's coming out, there's a VR version coming out, and it was quite interesting. So, like, in the demo they released, there's a guy with a chainsaw that comes at you.
Yeah.
And in the VR demo...
What to do with the chainsaw?
He just shows it to you. He's like, look, it's quite nice. I oil it every day.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Look at how smooth it runs.
I think you missed my bit. You said he comes at you.
Oh, ha, ha, ha! It's rubbing it on his junk that makes him come.
Oh God.
In VR, it's quite interesting because you can pull out your knife to block the chainsaw. I mean, I don't know how that would work in real life, but it's quite interesting. It's like a mechanic that you could obviously only do in VR.
That very much feels like, you know, a level 1 grey dagger versus like the final boss like melee weapon.
Ha!
What is this thing made of?
I thought it was interesting that it's a unique VR thing. And then they showed Arizona Sunshine 2 if you're a PSVR 1 player. Arizona Sunshine is a zombie game in VR.
Yeah.
It looked gorgeous in this, however, it wasn't gameplay, so be wary of that. Later this year it's coming. Crossfire Sierra Squad. It's a first-person shooter in the style of like SWAT team. Looked very cool actually. But you have to be a PSVR 2 player to play it, but I am, so that's cool. No release date given for that. A game called Synapse.
Why? I know that game.
No, this was brand new shown off. You might be thinking of something else. By a company called In Dreams. It was a puzzle psychedelic first-person shooter. It's very odd. Essentially, there's a guy that's hooked up to a... Sorry, I kicked your mic there. There's a guy that's hooked up to a machine. His consciousness is hooked up in there. And apparently you have to go into his consciousness to try and find some information. And when you go in there, because he's been hooked up to it for a while, he's essentially God in his own brain. And you have to fight him in various scenarios.
This is not what I thought it was. Cool.
Yeah. It looked interesting. Very fast-paced. So if you're a VR user... and you do like fast-paced stuff, it might be good for you.
It looks like fast-paced meets control powers.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Beat Saber came finally to PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah.
It's out right now, and a new Queen pack is out as well, so that's fantastic. And then we went back to PlayStation 5 games, and we got a big hitter now. Marathon. A brand new IP with... incredible, like ultra lighting, ultra colorful, sci-fi, beautiful aesthetic from Bungie. The Bungie that make Destiny, the Bungie that made Halo, the guys that were recently purchased by PlayStation. They're making a game that is I've got it somewhere here. Where is my fucking... I'm going to send you the link as well now.
Cool. Oh my God, so many ads. Leave me alone.
There you go. I'm going to read what they wrote down on the PlayStation blog, just so you can hear what they say. Today, Bungie makes history with an announcement of its first completely new project in more than a decade, Marathon. A sci-fi PvP extraction shooter, Marathon will find players engaging in one another as cybernetic mercenaries known as runners. Exploring a lost colony of a planet of Tau Ceti 4 in search of riches, fame, and infamy. Marathon is currently in development for PlayStation 5, PC, and full cross-play and cross-save, and coming to also Xbox Series X and S. I love the aesthetic of this. It's a shooter, which is Bungie's bread and butter.
What does Bungie know about that?
Exactly.
It's a sci-fi shooter. Come on.
The only downside with this is that there is no single-player campaign. Now, Bungie know all about lore, and they say as well that it's going to be rich with Bungie classic lore.
Yeah.
However, there's going to be no story. So, like, where Destiny is a multiplayer shooter, and it has those story missions that you can go on, this is going to be lacking now.
I'll tell you this. So, similar vibe. Respawn, who obviously know how to do stories because they did Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. They also did the best CODs. So they did COD 4, incredible story. And the groundwork, skeleton, a lot of the footwork for Modern Warfare 2. they also did, Titanfall 1 and 2, and they do Apex Legends now. Now, Apex Legends, it's one of these free-to-play battle royales.
Yeah.
Surprisingly deep with lore. Like, you can find lots of lore. If you have, like, Octane is a character that I like to play a lot.
I've heard of Octane, yeah.
Basically just shoots himself up with drugs and gets a speed boost. That's his ability. There are, not only is there lore on Octane, but so he has robot legs. This is actually very cool. It's a throwback to Titanfall 2 or Titanfall, where they had these, I forget what it was called because I never played those games. But in it there was a speed challenge thing where you would, because wall running was the thing, and you had to wall run and get across. Octane there's some stuff within the game where he has a time of, it's 11 seconds 37 or something like that,
right,
which just beats the original old school world record holder at 12 seconds for this grid this course. And the way you used to beat the course was using something called grenade jumps, where you would throw a grenade and use the explosion to speed
propel
boost.
You.
Right. Well, he's lost his legs. That's why.
That's actually really cool.
And one of his you can execute people. So if someone's knocked, you can do a finisher on them, and his default one is he drops a grenade and goes like this, because it's all throwbacks to the grenade jumps or boosts or whatever they called it. And there are these actual story breakdowns of who are these characters, why do they do the things that they do, what is their story. Same with Overwatch. There's a lot of lore there, surprisingly, but you have to go looking for it. Right. You don't ever get the chance to explore it in game, other than the odd line here or there that references the fact that this lore exists. But it is out there, and it is deep and really well thought out. Well, not the way you and I like to access it. To be fair, but it does exist, and Bungie knows how to do lore. Obviously,
let's see. I mean, as I said, it does have some moments where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be for me. But it is Bungie, and
you love those original Halo games, don't you?
I was going to say, I loved every second of them. No, everybody universally says that the original Bungie games, Halo Bungie games, are fantastic. I love Destiny, so that they've got my vote there. We just have to assume they're going to make more greatness until it comes out and they prove us wrong. So that's that there.
Realistically, what are the chances of that?
Exactly.
They know how to make shooters. Come on.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say as long as they learned one lesson from the PvP, which was don't scale up level 1 characters to play with level 20 characters and overbuff them, in your PvP battle modes. Don't do that. But outside of that, and if they're doing it just a standalone shooter where all the guns are the same, no one's gonna, if you're level 1 or level 100. And you pick up a gun in the game, it works the same. You loot a gun, or you start with a pistol. You don't have end-game boss loot on one character and grey level 1 loot on another. As long as you don't have to worry with that, then that isn't ever an issue anyway. So
yeah.
Anyway,
the next thing they showed off, again from Bungie, was Destiny 2's final shape teaser. The only really thing that was big interesting about that maybe some people who don't know Destiny would know. Obviously, I was very excited being a Destiny fan. Arzo, Gams Master, all the guys in the chat, we were all freaking out.
Yeah, all the losers.
They are bringing back one of the best characters in this game that I don't know how, because he died. And it was a very emotional death.
Yeah.
Cade 6, which is played by Nathan Fillion.
Even I know Cade 6.
Exactly.
And he goes and fights the big queen bitch, right?
Yeah,
on his own.
And just gets murked.
Yeah.
So
smart. Well done, Cade.
So I'm in two minds, because I love Cade 6 and I love him being back. However, he did have a hero's death.
Yeah, it cheapens it. Right.
It cheapens it a little bit. And also, it was kind of confusing at the time. I was like, so hold on, is he back or is he not?
The armors look so sick.
Yeah, all the time. Bungie just don't miss with aesthetics. They don't miss. They don't. Because it was almost like Ikora, one of the other characters, was talking to a memory, or just talking to herself.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait, is he back? Is he not back? And then it confirmed that he is back. And anyway, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure that Bungie know what they're doing. But yeah, that's happening there. Then 2 more announcements. Concord, a brand new game from Firewalk Studios. I'm going to send you the link right now so you can have that. All we got was a CG trailer. Again, this is another multiplayer game coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. It's a PvP multiplayer FPS from Firewalk Studios. Again, one of the new studios that PlayStation acquired. The aesthetic is beautiful. It's 80s, like Commodore 64 vibes.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's in space. I love it.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Exactly. However, again, it didn't show anything. It was a bunch of like shots of a spaceship in like hyperspace or whatever it is.
Yeah.
No information as to what the hell it's supposed to be.
Obviously, it's a racing game. I see Rainbow Road right there.
Right there. And I'll read you what they said here. It says Concord is about bringing people together. It's the power of games to build connections and inspire social play. The Firewalk team is driven by that type of exciting, unexpected moments and shared experiences that multiplayer games can create. Every time you log on is a beginning of a new adventure, and every match is an opportunity for a new story. It's a lot of words and nothing.
I hate that.
A lot of words and no information.
I hate that, and I also hate at the very end of that trailer it says coming so and so, be excited or something like that. And it's like, for what? I don't know anything about this, and that makes me feel really worried. It's about bringing gamers together. Oh, shut up. First of all, specifically, this is a shooter. I want to kill other gamers if I'm in a shooter, right? Like, I do not feel safe about that. However, maybe it's just some cheap media person that was like, oh, I'll just look up some stuff from Xbox. They know what they're doing. This is the power of games to bring people together. Gaming for the gamers by gaming game.
Still, PlayStation should have walked in and said, excuse me. Because it's their studio, so it's like, excuse me, this is not what we do.
No.
So this is Square on PlayStation's head to be like, should have managed it.
I'll say as well that here's my issue. That was not a teaser or a trailer. That was a very nice sounding, like you said, it looks great and all that stuff, but it doesn't show me anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't show me. I mean, it shows that could have been the trailer for the next Guardians of the Galaxy game, because it's in a spaceship. We see a gun. We see some quirky stuff.
Yeah.
But at least I know Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And I know what to get excited for. And we played the last one. This is brand new. And it's got that accompanying it. So far, worried.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
What can we do? All we can do is wait.
We can complain and tell them stop doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Only give us a trailer when you have something to trail.
It was very bad. Next, they announced some hardware stuff, but I'm actually going to save that for after the final game they showed off. They showed off the final game, and it started off very confusing. It was a Russian man in a woods, and he was stabbing someone, and then he was grabbed by an even bigger Russian dude, and then he broke his neck. And I was very confused because I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan I don't know the extended universe of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I know Luther Corp.
That's actually, it shows how much you know about Spider-Man.
It's close.
You mean Wayne Corp.
Exactly, that's what I meant. That's right. Not Oscorp at all, just Wayne Corp. I know Oscorp, but I know about from the more basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then when one of the guys comes in and goes, this hunt is terrible, like, it's getting too easy.
Right.
One guy comes in with an iPad. He's like, we found a new hunting ground. And then they show Black Cat, Spider-Man, and all things like that. It shows Queens. And I was like, what?
The concrete jungle.
I was like, what's going on? And then it goes into the Spider-Man 2 trailer that we watched together. And tell everybody how you felt about that.
I mean, Sucker Punch did it again.
They did it. Sucker Punch never miss. Too bad they're not like the Insomniac are watching over there making Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, right. Come on, Insomniac, pick it up. As predicted, Venom, we called that years ago,
even before the teaser that they did at the last one, innit? We called that way before.
We called that way before. I think proof was in the pudding, and I said at the time, I'm not excited for it, not because it won't be good, but because I know what I'm getting, and we saw 10 minutes of gameplay. We know exactly what we're getting.
And it just looked gorgeous.
Of course it did. It looked amazing. It looks brilliant. But it's Insomniac making a Spider-Man game. Of course it's going to be amazing.
let's get that part out of the way first of all. That it looked fantastic.
It's going to be a 10 out of 10.
It was a great
No, no.
trailer
Yeah.
with a lot of action. It showed you're fighting Connors, Dr. Connors
Yeah.
in lizard form. They had some spooky bits as well, and
Yep.
it was very cool. Showed a lot of new abilities. Miles has a new a blue lightning ability.
So this is an interesting thing. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like there's this weird thing in movies and comics and this sort of genre
Yeah.
for black characters to have electric powers.
Really?
Yeah. There were like 6 or 7 different versions of this character. I loved this cartoon growing up, Static Shock or Static X.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Like, but this is really common. If you think about it, like Spider-Man
Why is
movies, who's got the electric powers in those Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
Why is that?
It's just this weird thing. If you see a black, like,
Superhero character?
yeah,
Or villain, whatever.
super powered black person, likelihood there will be some electric thing in there. And Miles is just, again, I don't think this is like,
Because there's no racial thing to it.
I'm
There
not
doesn't,
like, oh my god, this is so racist thing. It's just one of those weird observations.
Yeah.
And now I didn't even clock it when I watched the movie. I'm like, I only clocked it there because I was like, oh, that looks like Static oh wait,
Wait a second.
yeah. Because there was this weird thing about Static Shock where the reason there were like 6 or 7 very similar characters is at some point they lost who owned the license, so all these different places had to make up their own version of it because he was a very very well liked character.
Understand, yeah.
So they all made their own version of it. So that there's all of these guys who are basically the same. And then it's just this weird thing. Also, Static X or Static Shock is a fantastic cartoon. I really, really like that. Miles looks amazing. I'm a little frustrated that he doesn't have his own actual game. I called a while ago that they would do Pete Miles.
That's what we wanted, really, yeah.
I do hope that with this game coming out so close to the second, which is obviously going to bang Spider-Verse, that will be enough for Insomniac and Sony to be like, people do love this version of Miles.
Do you know what it is? I think I don't know if it's just them being scared or they're just being dumb. Or maybe they just don't want to do it. There's also that possibility. People still just don't like... people like Peter Parker better than Miles. And I get that because it's the original. It's like the base level.
Yeah.
And obviously in the past, I've heard as well that Miles
Yeah.
Morales wasn't very good up until these recent incarnations.
Yeah, there was, from my understanding, and I mean this when you think of all the worst, most recent memes of this stuff. The original Miles was very woke, so he was
It was forced. It was pandering.
right.
rather than
It
actually
was
playing it.
let's shovel all this stuff in. Where I'm trying to think of characters where it was done perfectly. Raymond Holt,
Yes.
gay,
Yeah.
never relevant until it's relevant, and it's relevant because it's relevant, and it's not. He isn't a gay guy. He's
Doesn't
the
walk around
chief.
saying that I'm the gay police chief.
Right,
I'm the gay,
and that's what we. And also, of course, him and Terry are black, right?
Yeah.
But it's not relevant until it's relevant when they're dealing with race. They both deal with that, and it's handled perfectly. It's handled
Perfectly.
really, really well. That's exactly how you do that stuff. And so my understanding of the original comics with Miles is that it was handled the exact opposite way the way you want to do it.
Perhaps.
So even right now, he's black, mixed race. We presume that he has maybe a romance going on with Gwen, but don't know he could still be gay. Don't know, but it's also not relevant,
Yeah.
right? So
It's a love. It's a teenager in love with another person.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
exactly, and also I'm not going to tolerate anyone saying no, we'll accept it because Ellie, right?
Right.
That. So it's how you handle it, how it's presented. So my understanding is it was presented poorly. I'll tell you this though, I totally disagree. I don't like Pete more than I like Miles.
Yeah.
I like them differently.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it?
I like them differently, and I
don't
want a
think I
Miles
could
game.
choose between them.
Why should
and for
I?
different reasons.
Why should I?
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to. There's no. This isn't like
I can have
you
two.
Cannot have one or the other. It's
Yeah, it's like, would you like a burger or a hot
Facts.
dog, or burger and hot dog, like burger or fries?
I'll have both.
Crazy idea. Can I have burger and fries? Yes, you can.
There you go.
Why?
You're
Anyway,
right.
I
You're
want
right.
a Miles game personally. Again, that whole woke whatever. I don't care if he's gay or biracial. No, he is biracial. I don't know if he's biracial in comics.
I think he is.
He is in the movie, but I don't know the comics.
Oh, in the comics, yeah.
Yeah, I
I know
don't know.
he's in the game, but I don't know that.
That's the Spider-Verse Miles, isn't it? It's the same guy, correct?
I think it's the same guy. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Why can't we get that Miles and a Spider-Gwen like standalone? That on its own is enough, and even not even touching the Spider-Verse stuff, which, oh my god, I want to play who wouldn't want to play that? Who wouldn't want to play that? Who wouldn't want to play that? I don't understand. Anyway, I like them differently, and I think I like them equally.
I think I like them equally as well. Like they're both just fantastic. Both
Also,
of them
like,
fantastic.
you know when we've ever done the Spider-Man rankings of stuff, like I think, barring No Way Home because of obviously the meetup, I think Into the Spider-Verse is probably the best of them, realistically.
I would agree.
Like, it's a damn good movie. So what I'm really hoping is that this game, with him being like a dual antagonist, and the movie coming out, they finally go, okay, look, we can do a Miles game.
I think this might be the trigger as well, because as much as I think Spider-Man Miles Morales sold, there are some people that are just going to be playing Spider-Man because they see the Spider-Man thing. So when they buy this game, they're forced to play as Miles Morales, see how good of a character he is, and then the next game they're going to be like, look, it's the same thing.
That's a good point, because maybe people didn't buy Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it obviously didn't sell as well as PS4.
And there is also the thing, it's a strange thing in people's mind where when something costs less, they immediately disregard it as like it's not a full release, like it's not a full thing.
Yeah,
so when Miles Morales, because it was a smaller title and it wasn't that much more cheap, but it was cheaper than the full $70. People were like, "Oh, it's something that I don't need to play. It's DLC. Right. I don't need to." So maybe people missed out on it there, and now they will have to see him firsthand, right in front of them, play as him, being fucking sick.
Awesome.
And they're gonna maybe that's it.
Also, this is actually really smart, because Miles, a potential complaint about Miles is how many more additional powers he has than Pete, right? And one of the things about Spider-Man is, forgetting the fact that he's monstrously strong, he is actually vulnerable. If you shoot Peter Parker, he dies, right? And this is the thing, which is, initially, one of my first holdbacks from the Miles in the thing was like, why does he have to have all these additional powers? They ended up being very cool, but that was one of my initial thoughts. Well, now, he isn't being compared directly to Peter Parker. He's being compared directly to Peter Parker with the Venom suit, who has additional abilities. So now it looks more even. And by the time people are used to it and we get rid of Venom, it's just going to be some cool stuff that he can do. And him and Pete are, again, different. And there are different scenarios where Pete's better because he has that experience. And that, maybe, I don't know, maybe stronger or whatever, right? But
Can I make a call?
Yeah.
I'm going to call it right now. There's going to be a massive moment where Miles is fighting Peter Parker in the symbiote suit.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to drag his ass out of that suit.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
It's going to be like the touching moments.
It's going to be black on black crime. Got it.
I did just say that. No. I'm going to sidestep that and I'm going to go back to my cool thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be violent fighting.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker in the symbiote suit is going to be over the top of him. You're going to see the eyes sort of changing shape more to Venom style, angry. And then eventually he gets him out of it. And it's going to be such a touching moment. It's going to be great. It's going to be a major boss fight. I can tell you now. It's going to be
I love that idea of how do you make Miles relevant to the people that are just going to be stubborn. Well, you can't have him replace Peter Parker because they hated that in the comics apparently, because Pete dies.
Oh, see that's okay.
In the comics, Pete is shot and killed, and then Miles happens to get the same sort of powers and takes over. In Spider-Verse, it's done brilliantly because I think that Pete does die, but then another's replaced by an almost identical Pete. Yeah. So net, no change.
Yeah.
You can't have him beat Spider-Man. You can't have him beat Peter Parker, I'm sorry, because that would suck. But you can have him save Peter Parker from himself.
I like it, innit?
How good is that?
Right.
That is, I really hope. Insomniac, guys, if you need to do some rewrites, listen to my man over here.
You've got some time. You guys are quick, right?
I really hope you're right about that.
I hope so too. Let's get a little bit more granular.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the symbiote suit?
Hated it.
Yeah?
I absolutely hate, in particular, There's two things. One, it's a bit slimy, which is fine because I get that Venom is slime initially, but it solidifies, so I didn't love that. And I also didn't like it's got these weird like shoulder plates, but then they go away.
Yeah. So
I think it will grow on me though. I do like Venom. I do think I'll get used to it, and it won't bother me.
I think it will grow on us as well, but I'm on that side as well. There are parts of it that I really liked. Like, I did like the fact that the eyes sort of, like, when he gets angry, it sort of changes just a little bit.
Yeah.
Very cool touches like that. I like how, obviously, the spider, the big white spider on the front looks fucking fantastic. That shoulder pad bit did look a little bit...
It looked like padding.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's a show. It's a CG. You can make it look...
What they did in Spider-Man 3?
Yep.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They... it's corny, but they did it good there.
Yeah.
Just made it black.
Yeah.
And
It's
it was
just
like,
a black spider suit.
whoa, what's going on? And you didn't know like what it was changing, what it was doing and stuff like that. And that's what made it cool. And what's really upsetting is that the Spider-Man suit that they made in Spider-Man PS4 with the big white spider on it but red, iconic now. I cannot get that out of my head. It
It's
looks
gorgeous.
beautiful. I think it's the first time they put a white spider on a suit, and it's amazing, fantastic.
Yeah.
To go from banger 1,000 out of 10 to now this.
They
it's
had
like,
they had the suit. They had the suit. You just import it. They actually made the suit while you're changing the suit.
And I don't think that suit had the shoulder pads, did it?
I don't think so.
I don't. Maybe I'm just misremembering, but
No, I feel like we would have noticed that.
yeah.
You can double check, but
I'm gonna double check it now.
The thing is,
is,
I understand.
nope, did not.
No, it didn't.
So that's what. If they maybe just took away that, it might have just been okay. But
And
there you
also,
go.
to be fair as well, we actually don't know how far into the game that scene is. Meaning, what I mean to say is, it presumably is fairly early on, because you usually don't show mid to late game stuff. But we don't know how long Pete's had Venom.
I was gonna
And
say,
Venom might be changing.
and Miles does say it's like, hey, new threads. Like it's the first time you're seeing him, and it's possibly something quite new.
Right, like, it could be new, but also, just because it's new to Miles doesn't mean it's new to Pete.
Yeah.
So Pete might have had Venom for a while now, and it maybe starts out as that original suit, and by the time the boss fight happens, he's venomized.
Right.
You know?
Right. It might be something that like transforms a bit more and stuff
right.
like that. Who knows? I'll wait till the full game comes out for us to judge it. If you
I
haven't,
mean, it's going to be
watched-
good. It's going to be a 9.
Exactly.
Even if they don't do the boss fight like you said, it's going to be a 9.
They're gonna come up with something else. I mean, they did the fucking Dr. Octavius was in the first one was fucking gut wrenching. I was like, oh shit, he knew all along. It was great. Spoilers. If you haven't seen the trailer,
like they're not afraid
Yeah.
to take things to a place where you usually wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Hashtag suck. Insomniac did it first. Anyway,
If you haven't watched it in 4K, like on the PlayStation YouTube channel, go and do that, because really when I watched it, I was okay, but so much better. Technically wise, sorry, I forgot to say they've got flying suits now.
Oh yeah,
so you can fly around the city. Totally was a flex of the SSD.
yeah. That's all. I think that's actually the only reason it exists is
They
to
were
flex
like,
it.
Fuck it, we're doing this.
I think they did it for two reasons. One, to
The
flex
way
the
it just
SSD.
loaded like that.
One, to flex the SSD, and two, to add a little bit more variety to the traversal. Which, to be fair, it's Spider-Man. Didn't need it, but it's cool that it's there now. I suspect we will all choose opt not to use the wind tunnel stuff.
Yeah.
And just float about.
It
But
seemed like you could just get to the other side of the city with that, and I was
Yeah.
like, but what about Spider-Man swinging?
yeah, I think they did that so that it is an alternative to just fast loading, to just fast travel, because sometimes you don't want to traverse the whole way, you just want to get to a mission, but you don't want to fast travel.
I was gonna
You
say
wanna
I
travel
never
fast.
used fast travel, and there were some times where I'm like, it is quite far.
Right. I think it's for when you want to travel fast, but you're
Yeah.
playing a Spider-Man game, you don't fast travel in these games. That's just not. It's just not how it works.
That's
So
it.
how can we get people where they need to be faster than swinging, for when they're trying to do this stuff, and then they can just ignore it? Because once you're done with the game, I'm going to swing around, and yes, I will use the wingsuit, but only to like float around before I start swinging again.
I'll tell you what, though, Insomniac. I know you've already done it, and I'm going to give you shit for it because I know for a fact you've done it. You have done one of the most annoying trophies involving that wingsuit, haven't you? Because you did it with the webbing on the side of a building and pulling yourself forward to grab these godforsaken drones. And I know you've done it with this as well. I know you're going to do a whole, like, you have to go through all of these circles. You have to go through these water 100%, towers. 100%. And I'm already pissed off. So thank you for that. Anyway, it's fantastic. Coming out fall this year, but no firm release date, which is so strange. I don't get it. It's this year now. I mean, put a date on it. And it's Insomniac, so they're not going to... I highly doubt they're going to delay it, but... Anyway, that's all of the video games that were shown off at the show. They did announce one other cool thing. They finally showed off that Q Lite, Project Q they're calling it, the tablet device that is connected to the cloud or remote play. They confirmed a bunch of things that we already knew. It was going to be an LCD screen, which is not so great.
Yay, LCD.
Remote
25-year-old technology.
Right? Fucking hell.
It's going to actually be a CRTV.
I'm going to send you the link right now so you can have a look at the close-up
They say
pictures.
cloud, but it's actually AOL dial-up.
That's what it is. Yeah. Plug it in. Now, here's what it looks like. It's essentially a DualSense controller snapped in half, and then they chucked a screen in between it. What is your impressions on the look of it here? What do you think about that?
It didn't load up. 1 second.
The back of it looks hilarious, but other than that, what do you think about it?
So, I have to say, the back does look ridiculous.
Fucking hilarious, right?
Possibly one of the ugliest things ever. I will say I'm very much a fan of them not going with the offset.
Fucking
huge fan.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, but you could just get a backbone," but that
Shut
thing
up.
is dumb. What are you doing?
Shut up.
Anyway, go on.
Shut up. That's not the complaint. I will say I don't think going like Switch-esque with the controller sides is the way. It's cool for the Switch, but the Switch is like the next gen of the Wii U, the Wii. Yes. Like it always came that way. So also in my head, this was like a PSP with the analog sticks and stuff, right? Which is something I can put in my pocket and pull out to play on the train. I'm not doing that with this.
This
right?
is not very compact.
It do not be.
It's like we said. It's essentially a DualSense controller snapped in half.
Oh god!
No, not my comic books!
Oh god!
No!
You're such an idiot. Oh god! Do you know what's funny?
Water on my comic books.
He poured water on his Superman comic books, right? And this is not a joke, lifted them up, poured the water off, and totally dripped it all over his £2,000 MacBook.
No!
But he's still more worried about the comic books because they're Superman.
Saved. No. Okay, nothing over there is wet.
Just the carpet.
Just the carpet. God damn it.
Anyway, you're right. This is not something that goes in like a back pocket while you're walking to the train station, or like in your blazer pocket on the way to school.
Yes.
This is not something like that.
Fucking hell, that was a disaster, that was.
It doesn't look awful, actually, looking at the front of it. It doesn't look terrible. I'm looking at this picture. However, the reality is that thing is massive.
Yeah, so that was the proper... Fucking hell, the laptop is actually so wet now. The screen's so wet. That was the complaint that I accepted the most. Some people just had a complaint that they were like, why does it exist? And I sort of get that point. Because it can only be played in remote play. So you have to have the games on your PlayStation 5, and you have to have PlayStation 5 in order to do that. It can only be played on Wi-Fi, so it doesn't have any like LTE options or anything like that. So you can't play it on the go anywhere. Right. You can only play it either... It's
not portable gaming. It is around the house gaming.
Exactly. So I kind of get that. However, I mean, for the very specific case of if you don't want to play on your TV, or if you can't play on the TV, someone else is using the TV or something like
The
that.
missus's friends around,
Right.
and they're all watching,
Sex and the City.
right, or like Housewives of LA or wherever it is on the TV, and you get relegated to the bedroom or the shed or wherever you are.
Yeah. And if you have a PlayStation 5 and you're okay playing in a handheld situation, which not everybody is,
Yeah.
and you're okay with the screen being an LCD, which we have to still see how
I'm
good that is
not.
going to be.
Also, if you look at that picture is not LCD resolution.
The vibrancy of it is very deceiving. I don't
Yeah.
believe it's going to be that vibrant, I'll tell you that.
I will put money on it right now. It is not.
Yeah, I'm betting it's going to be more original Switch quality, and
Yeah.
I'm very upset about that. However, I will contest one thing. People are saying, like, well, what is the point of it? Like, you might as well get a
Sorry, bro.
backbone and stuff like
Yeah.
that. A backbone is a compromise.
Yeah.
It's convenient that you get to put it in your pocket and it's compact and you get to use your phone, which you probably already have, etc. And it does essentially the same thing,
Yeah.
and it plus has it as the wireless network that you can use. However, the controller, regarding the setup, not regarding the thumbsticks and whatnot,
Yeah.
the controllers are crap.
Yeah.
They're shitty, compact, crappy little devices versus an actual dual sense you're holding. So it's very familiar. It's perfectly ergonomic. It's got the haptic triggers.
They still don't have the colours on the buttons.
They still don't, which is dumb. But it's a controller.
Yeah, it's made specifically to go in your hand for long periods of time.
Exactly. So I think
And the DualSense is without question the best controllers that have been made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it has a very large, an 8-inch screen, not very large. It's largish. It's bigger than it's going to be your phone's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to be.
yeah. It's mini tablet sized, yeah.
So, as long as it's reasonably priced, and as long as
won't
it
be,
fits
but
your
yeah.
needs, it probably won't be, and it fits your needs, and the screen hopefully is going to be good, but who knows about
Yeah.
that, then it's a good device.
2 points. One to both sides. One, why does it exist? Get fricked. Because without the 6-axis, which was awful, we don't end up with the DualSense rumble technology, right? They had to try things and find out what was good, what was bad, what didn't work. Is it worth it? You know, and the DualSense is incredible. It's an iterative process. On the other hand, why does it exist? Because that's not what I want. I want a PSP or a PS Vita.
Yep.
Right? We've done handheld gaming before, and that's the way I want it done. I don't actually have much need for, you know, our specific use case that we gave an example of.
Yeah.
Well, usually they're not my missus who kicks me out of the front room so she can watch Real Housewives of Tampa or whatever. Is probably not using my PS5 to do that. But let's say that she is. Like, I don't want to play a PS5 game on something that isn't my PS5
Yeah.
on a phone. I would rather play a game on a handheld device that's made for it, you know. So my argument for why does it exist is, why doesn't the PS Vita 2 or PSP 2 exist?
That's all of our big takeaways.
Yeah.
Is that's what we all wanted, and that's what we all should have got. Instead, we've got this, and that adds to the whole "why does this thing exist" type thing.
And I suspect this will be incredibly unsuccessful, and they will say, well, no one wants handheld gaming.
Exactly.
And
When
that's
really
not-
you're the one that's done everything wrong.
Yeah, you chose to do everything wrong and missed the point.
Did the
the
Switch make a
product.
remote play type thing? No. Did the Steam Deck come out and make a remote thing? No.
Right.
Did the Asus ROG thing come out? No. They're all using local power, and that's what everybody wants. And you've changed that, and now you're going to blame us for that.
I want my PSP 2 or whatever, and I don't want an LCD screen. I want an OLED screen, and I'll take 10-hour-long games for my commute. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway.
Apparently, it's coming out later this year, and they did say oddly that some of the specs may be subject to change.
Okay.
I was like, but it's coming out later this year, so surely it's like in production
I
already,
feel
right?
like, yeah. I mean, maybe the screen?
That's the thing that I'm thinking, that maybe they're waiting to see. It's like, so, we're making an LCD screen, and then when they hear the backlash, they'll go, OLED, 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 we meant OLED, we meant OLED. Okay, OLED.
Yeah. We said it's not
And that's
an
probably why
LCD.
they haven't said... You just misheard us. Maybe that's why they haven't also set a price as well, because
Yeah.
then they can change the price. I would pay a bit more for a better screen. That's what
Agreed.
I'd pay. Any poop. That was everything showing off. They did also show off some earbuds, but no one's interested in that.
Yeah, I actually did notice that, and I was like, I don't even care enough to ask.
The only thing that makes it kind of interesting is that they charge in a case, a bit like Apple AirPods do. The aesthetic matches the console.
Don't care.
Don't care. It's got a light on it to say it's charging, and that's about it.
Is it blue when it's charging and white when you're using it?
Of course. It's never blue. It's never blue. That's what they get. Anywho, let me read some comments out from our Discord server, just like you guys can if you want to write in. You can tell us all about that. Our gamers wrote in. And I'm going to start off with BS Bro 2. And he says, I finally did it. I platinumed my Metal Gear Solid 5 the same day we got the Snake Eater remake announcement. I loved Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. The trailer was perfect. Sorry, I love Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. The trailer was perfect. However, the devs behind it are known to rush games out unfinished, and Konami removed some copyright stuff for the games instead of renewing it. So it was fun having that one day of Metal Gear Solid comeback hope. Okay, he's very he's just turned down all of our excitement to zero. Phantom Blade Zero looked cool, and of course Spider-Man 2 was also amazing. Can't wait to get a PS5 and pick those up. Pick those games up when I get a chance. The marathon game from Bungie seems like an extraction game like Tarkov, where you run and pick up supplies and then run out before other people can kill you. Not really my thing, but the game from Firewalk FPS PvP game, that's all we know for now.
Sorry.
And then I read the other bit before.
I just pulled up the Discord and someone had screen capped Alpha. I am creaming, and it caught me off guard.
It's perfect.
I am creaming
right now. Do you want to read the next one from Tailgate?
Yeah, sorry,
I did read the first bit, so
yeah. My favorite reveals, that bit?
Yeah.
My favorite reveals, with the one at the top being my number one favorite, Spider-Man 2, which, I mean,
fair play.
Yeah, can't go wrong there. Alan Wake 2, and I'm not kidding with this edition, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm unironically looking forward to this game, mostly because I personally like the recent AC games. Well, you like Valhalla and stuff.
That's strange, because this looks like a departure from that. Who knows?
I genuinely, and also because it helps with the algorithm, I want to know, only in the YouTube comments though, what was it you liked? First of all, which of the most recent AC games did you like? What did you like about them? And then, what did you feel that this had in common with that? Because this looks like the old school AC to me, which is, the old school, like the guy Wames and Ethan used to play, right? Like what they came up on, and what I knew from back in the day as well. Like I know Assassin's Creed from back in the day. That's what this seemed like. So I'm genuinely curious what you thought carried over, and I'm not genuinely not an attack because you're not Ubisoft. I'm just curious. Because I'm curious. Yeah, that's it. Just curious.
Do you want to read the next one as well?
Yeah,
That was
Alan Wake,
short.
BS Bro number 1, says, sorry, I know this is long, but Alan Wake 2 warrants it. I also talk about Star Trek Resurgence for the last time, ? Alan Wake 2. There aren't many things in life that can make me feel as ecstatic as the totally unexpected Alan Wake 2 trailer. Also, by the way, that is how you do this. You don't spend 5 years saying, we're making this game, here are 2 CG trailers. You make the game and then drop it and be like, yo, 2 months' time. And it's bam, there you go. I get the argument of people being unhappy with no physical edition, but it really is a miracle that so much came together to finally, after 13 years, get a sequel to the game with my favourite writing and the increase of love for the Remedy-connected universe never gets old.
That's the thing I wanted to bring up as well. Alan Wake 2 apparently confirmed to not have a physical version, only digital, which is like marking the death of physical games right here. They try to sweeten people up saying like it's going to be $10 cheaper than normal because we're not doing a physical version, but I'm still kind of upset that we're not.
We're physical guys. We like to have. We like to have. Why did you do it? We like to have the physical cases. I got the unironically watched Pacific Rim recently with my chick. By the way, that has by far the best soundtrack like theme. Yeah. Oh my god, so good. Also holds up. It looks incredible. I do think it is going to be like another Jurassic Park where you can watch it 20 years later and it just holds up.
Nice.
Besides the point, I forgot that I bought it in the Steelbook and I was so happy that I had. Right? So like, but you and me, we like doing that stuff. I like to have the Steelbooks. I like to have the physical cases. I like to have my games on display. You know, and I'm not even that big of a collector. So for people that are, it's kind of sad. Oh no, it's extra sad, I should say. It's kind of sad for me. It's really sad for like collector types. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's
like what I mean to say is obviously I want the physical case, but I don't know if that's just the way things are going. So like PC gamers don't have any problem with it.
But they're PC gamers.
That's the thing. So they spend all their time looking at Excel spreadsheets of all the games that they've bought and aren't playing.
Exactly.
You know? So
and complaining that their version of the game doesn't work when really it's all of their parts that are broken. I didn't buy this.
Just buy a PS5.
Exactly.
I don't understand those who want to boycott a game that's only available See, that does seem silly to me, but okay.
It's a bit much, yeah. It's a bit much.
Especially when it's stated to keep the cost low. Play it. It's made by some of the best storytellers in the industry. I couldn't sleep that night. Everything creamed too hard. I couldn't sleep that night. Everything I've read about it is just awesome. Control reference. Yeah, I did see that. It was capital O. It's awesome. Awesome. AWE. Some in lowercase. That was the joke.
When you explain the joke, it's much more funny. Yeah.
I know. I can feel the guys laughing behind it. This is the combination of so much of Remedy's work. The story's been in development for over a decade, but I'm not ready for how terrifying, I'm a scaredy cat, and beautiful. Have you seen those screenshots? And indescribably fantastic the game will be when it releases on Tuesday, October 17th. It's like he's a marketing pitch.
He works for them, for sure. For sure.
For the record as well, I totally agree. And I'm like, here's the thing about Control. You get superpowers in it. So I'm not so worried. You don't really, as Alan Wake, get a flashlight and like 2 bullets.
If you get a flashlight, you can do anything.
It's crazy that it is even releasing the... It's crazy that it's even releasing, and Remedy fans are rejoicing. I know Sam Lake will be too. A truly passionate creative director that he is, always coming back to Alan's story in between other projects, and he's in the game. The new releases. This week on Has It Released Yet? Yes, one of my most anticipated games, Planet of Lana, has released, and it is beautiful, with handcrafted art and smooth animations. I love hearing entirely new languages, and it feels great in this game. Nothing else released, right? No games that missed their release date. No games that got delayed twice, right? Oh no, wait, one did. Star Trek Resurgence is out.
It's finally out.
I think. No, that can't be right. Well, if it did, I'm really enjoying it, and the writing is classic Star Trek with great choices. Okay, so look, here's the thing. I really admire Alpha for 2 reasons. One, just unwavering optimism about these games, and also actually a bit of a connoisseur. So he plays really obscure games and gives them more than a fair shake and comes out of it with just all the cool takes. So like, for example, Stray was a game that had quite a lot of attention to it, but very different from the stuff you and I would usually play.
Yes.
There are loads of games like that you and I and the general public have never heard of that Alpha's played and really talks highly about, which I admire. On the other hand, frick Star Trek. All I'm saying, Star Wars are always better. They hit their release dates.
Exactly.
Get fricked.
Actually,
no laser swords, no space wizards.
I like a little bit of Star Trek.
I do love a bit.
I feel like if I watched the older stuff as well, I'd really fall in love with it as well. I feel like it's right up my alley.
I'll tell you, the OG Star Wars, like with Kirk, is
Star Trek.
That's what I said.
Definitely.
Star Trek with Kirk is actually just a crack addict's fever dream. It's so weird. It's so weird. And also, like, it goes from so strange and this guy is just, like, banging every alien chick he can find.
Standard.
To then,
Sounds
like,
great.
the standard Star Trek heavy-handed political message about war is bad even though they fight in, like, every episode and that's the main draw. Communism is great even though we know it doesn't work, but because it works in a fictional universe, how good it is. Like, it's very very interesting. Next Generation is crazy because it's like real Star Trek without any of the alien bitch banging.
Oh.
Right? I know Picard just, it's not about that. But then,
Pussy.
right? But then he gets up to probably some of the best antics. And then Voyager, he got 7 of 9. I rest my case.
Rest my case.
So there you go. And Deep Space Nine has some of the same numbers as the name 7 of 9, but no 7 of 9. Shit tier show.
50% of the numbers, but just nothing in it. You think
Also, Alpha loves Deep Space Nine.
does he?
He loves it.
But he also liked Crisis of Infinite Earth, so
That's what I'm saying. The guy's got no taste.
no taste. And he
He's a
likes
patron.
us. Oh, fucking terrible.
Talking of patrons,
Should we read them out now?
our true gamers over at patreon.com/conversations that make this. Well, wait, how does that bit go? They keep the lights and mics on.
Yeah,
Game going over here on conversations.com/conversations1.
These guys are at the True Gamer tier, the $5 tier, who support us and get this show the day it's recorded, before everyone else, before all of the peasants over on YouTube.
Plebs.
You could donate either £5, $5, or even 5 SEK, as Adam does right here. Don't know what SEK is. Sweet.
Did he cheap out and he's not giving us seconds? It's just 1 sec.
It's just giving me 5 SEK.
A sec.
All right? Those great people are these true gamers. Adam the High Quality Potato, Gams Master, Sheps is Crusty Right Nut, Isak Manny, Mikey T, Sab2557, Joe McCormack, Gerald Tucker, Fishy, Jim Heim.
Jim Hein. Use your words.
Adam Sunling, Max H. I was so stuck for some reason. Adam Sunling, Max H, Alpha Aquila, Cobra SS. Okay, there's another page. Oh my god! I'm reading the wrong one. Anyway, all those people, and Sam Mason, and Dagenham Dan. How's it going, bro? You're a new bro here. How you doing?
How's it going, bro?
Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you all you sweet. Also, Super Whale Ben. I forgot to read his name out. Super Whale Ben. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you for keeping the lights and mics on and keeping the gaming going.
How long have we been going, by the way?
I think we've been going for 2 hours.
You know, when we said this is going to be a nice short one.
Yep, that's what we said. Yeah. Let's run through these comments then, innit? Let's run through these comments. BS Bro 3 writes in and he says, going in order of the showcase, here starting with Helldivers 2, this game got me mildly interested and I'll probably play it eventually. There was Phantom Blade 0 and the combat looked it was amazing looking. Unsure if I'll play it, which is how I feel about most of these games. There is a sword, there is Sword of the Sea, the Plucky Squire, both look like to be a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's supposed to be a 6 or 7 out of 10, but I need more information before I play either of them. Teardown.
Oh,
this was a game. Teardown. It essentially looks like Minecraft, but what it is a physics-based destruction game.
I think I saw this.
So you like throw a bomb in a building and it blows up, or you drive a car into a building and try and cause as much destruction and escape before it all goes hell.
Yeah.
Looked quite good. Was the first game that made me think absolutely will play this. Alan Wake 2 may have made Alpha cream his pants. It did. I'm
creaming so hard right now.
but it's just maybe me. Haven't played the first one, but will eventually. A tiny bit of Concord that we saw was dope, but definitely need to see more before considering buying it. The tech was all right, I guess. Not my thing, but now it's time for the one and only Spider-Man 2. The start of the segment really threw me. I didn't think it was Spider-Man at all until we saw Kraven the Hunter. I'm so happy they expanded the map to as part of Queens is a major part of Spider-Man, and seeing the villains that might show up in this map was great. Wonder what Yuri is going to do with Wraith. Always the suit looked dope. The symbiotic edition and the combat that comes with it has me knowing I'm going to be abusing that power. The switch between Peter and Miles was seamless. I just hope that we can switch freely in free roam.
Ooh.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe.
My guess is no, but
In free roam, maybe. But then it's all about transitioning back into the missions. I mean, if you're Miles and it's a mission part of the story, then what happens?
yeah,
Does it just abruptly switch like that? That makes no
That's-
sense.
yeah. Wonder, interesting question.
It may be controlled between when in the story, and then when it comes to the post game, you can just
Right,
do what
right,
you
right.
want.
Or
perhaps.
maybe between main missions, like if they make the mission system slightly different, like a Witcher type deal, in the sense where
Who knows?
if you're not on the main, if you deselect the main mission, you can free switch. If you select the main mission, whoever you're on, it will just take you. Like, let's say if playing as Pete, you go, okay, I'm going to do this main mission. You click, Incy Wincy Spider, click it, and it just zips you to Miles, and you can only play as Miles until you've done the mission, and then
Who knows?
that's probably the way I would do it, I think.
I love seeing the new abilities such as the web lines, the double takedowns. Lizard looks dope, and I can't wait for that boss fight. I also can't wait for the boss fight between Peter and Miles. Looks like a game of the year in my opinion. Anyway, see you all soon, whether that's here or a streamcast funeral. We never gave it official burial, did we?
We really do need to do that. I will say as well, Lizard looks good.
Yes.
That
Very
is
cool.
the best version of it that we've seen, in my opinion. So, Cryptic hashtag get juice on Streamcast says
I love he still kept that.
that's ancient.
Yeah, until we murder it, he's going to keep it.
Awful showcase. Hated 90% of it. Burst out laughing at the terrible Assassin's Creed Mirage trailer. Interesting. I wanted to kill myself in nearly every other part
Jesus.
other than like 5-ish somewhat interesting announcements. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, please.
Not only a complete waste of a showcase, yeah, agreed, but has also diminished my hype for the future of PS5 massively. Spider-Man 2 was great, but the lack of a date has me worried that, and them refusing to show us anything exclusive after that makes me worried that some stuff like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth etc. might be delayed or be facing some issues.
Quick pause right there. The bit where he says the lack of them showing anything exclusive, there was a lot of multi-platform games there as well.
Yeah.
Xbox tried to do a funny, and it was funny. However,
They do it too. So
exactly. So, but this thing, they tried to make a funny. They posted immediately after the show. They posted maybe, I'm going to say 12 games. There was like 36 games they showed off.
Yeah.
12 of them were multi-platform. And they showed off as like, I don't know, like good time to be on Xbox. And they showed all of the games that were at the showcase
Right.
that were multi-platform. Not all of them PlayStation like hid, but some of them they just didn't mention it was
Yeah.
coming to anywhere else. And people were like, "Oh, Xbox got them," and I'm like,
no,
"Yes, but
no,
you're
we're not-
known for that.
right.
That's like you calling a guy an incel because he's wearing a fedora, but then you're wearing a
You're
fedora,
known for
and
wearing
I'm like,
fedora.
hold on a second."
Look at this fedora wearing guy.
It's like, what? I was
Right.
like, I found it funny, but you're the guy that does
Yeah.
that.
This is my problem again with Xbox. It's just utter hypocrisy. It's
Yeah.
so that's the bit, and also they just don't seem to get it.
Yeah.
Like it's not tongue in cheek. Like, oh, wouldn't you hate to be this guy? They actually think they had a gotcha moment.
So bad.
Feels like the moment say PlayStation has no games, Ainsley. If you didn't get that Ainsley thing, you need to join the Discord. Link in the description. But legitimately, that was abysmal, and their hardware development seems unnecessary and mid as well. What's the hardware development?
The Q Project Q thing.
Oh, okay,
He's gonna
yeah,
mention
cool.
it now as
Yeah,
well.
cool. Like that stupid remote play device, which seems to appeal to such a small minority. Cryptic hates minorities, man. It's facts.
It's said right there. Cryptic.
His own words.
Hates minorities.
Greatly worried about the state of gaming, especially since, to me, I was really hyped for 2023 in gaming, and yet in this first half has provided nothing new that I have much interest in. Just feel so disappointed. Again, I'm first of all with you, but second of all, if they have pulled their punches for another showcase, what a waste of energy. what are like just pulled the wind out of your own sails. It just sorry, I actually kind of hope that they didn't do that. This is all they had this year. Was just a quiet year.
Unfortunately, I think it's inevitable because, like we said, there are so many studios and so many projects that we didn't hear from. Even from the games that we know are coming, we didn't hear from.
Yeah.
And they have to show them eventually.
True.
I mean, they're going to come out soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, even if you say Wolverine, which was predicted to... Sorry, which is was given a release date of 2024.
Yeah.
That's next year, so you have to show it soon. Last of Us Factions, again, supposed to come out this year or early next year, so you have to show that soon.
Realistically, at most, they have 15 months for both of these games.
Ghost of Tsushima's probably going to be something else. There's big hits you didn't show, so it's guaranteed to be the worst case scenario. Anyway.
Yep.
David
said, the event was pretty mid overall, and it honestly didn't have to be. A good number of projects shown could have just been left for something else, in my opinion. Sony can and should do better. Do we already read that?
I read that first bit,
Okay.
but then the next bit.
The best stuff shown, in my opinion, was the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake announcement. I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan, so this news made me insanely happy. Apparently, the original voice cast is coming back as well, so I'm even more hyped now.
Yep.
The worst stuff shown, in my opinion, was all the VR stuff. I do not care for VR. Just not my kind of thing. So seeing it take up a portion of the whole event made me a bit disappointed. Overall, mid-event, but Spider-Man and MGS made it bearable. Mid out of 10.
Mid out of 10.
I actually agree in that I think a lot of that stuff should have been saved for a not showcase, state of play.
Okay.
Where it's just like, here's some other stuff, some, like not a showcase from 18 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That should have been like, boom, here's Wolverine, boom, here's Spider-Man 2, here's Ghost of Tsushima 2, here's like everything, here's Last of Us Factions, right? And then they should have done another thing being like, hey, by the way, look, we do other stuff. While you're waiting for these other great games, check out whatever that Chinese sword of destiny was called. Phantom Blade, whatever, right? Like, check out these VR games. I kind of agree. I feel like it shouldn't have been tacked on with that stuff. So, yeah, it's bad pacing, bad guessing the temperature of the room, in my opinion.
There's no downside to them just smacking everyone in the face with great games.
Also,
I don't know why anything else was a consideration.
They don't have to. I genuinely think this is Microsoft leading them around by the nose, where Xbox does have to have big events because there's actually not much exciting going on. Sony doesn't because they have exciting games, and I don't care what you think. The reality is those games bang so hard. Where you've got your God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. That's off the top of my head 5. That's before we get to other slightly smaller but still big, Ratchet and Clank level games. They don't need to have big events. They need big games to keep us here. That's why we're here, right? Not because we like Sony, but because they give us the best stuff to play.
Yeah.
You don't actually even have to show this stuff. Just bring it out. Just bring it out and play it, right? So why make a shitty event when you have all the good... Do you know what I mean? It's weird. I feel like they think they need to have these big events. And the reality is, actually, that 5 years ago, that was probably true at the tail end of the PS4. But right now, I don't think you need that. Anyway.
Unfortunately, this is what we got. And Sony, you kind of let us down here. Of course, I have to be honest. If they do a show soon... and it is fantastic, this will all be forgotten.
Oh, I guarantee if they come out and Kojima comes out on stage and gives you Death Stranding 2, you forget all of this. It's going to be a hashtag Eddie creaming.
I said literally what would make a perfect showcase: Death Stranding 2, Last of Us Factions multiplayer, Ghost of Tsushima. Those 3 would make me cream my pants, and that would be the best showcase ever. And they still... all I named was 3 games.
Also, that's all pedigree. Like, you don't need... Wolverine is great. I'm excited for it because it's new. But I don't know anything about it. Realistically, we don't know anything about it. You show those 3 games, that's just PS, Sony exclusive, golden age of the PS5, like, pedigree. Yeah. that's the showcase they should have done.
Yeah.
That should have been a 45-minute thing. Here's 15 minutes of 10 minutes of each and 5 minutes of like build up to it. Also a couple of random things chucked in. Check out this Chinese game. This is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Death Stranding 2. You know?
I'm going to do one final thing just to say that we did it. Correcting Conbrosations.
My favourite section.
Favorite segment.
Never forgotten. Never
Well,
once. Never once. So look, if you're new around here, we say things on the internet, and we've never let pesky things like facts and information get in the way of strongly held belief. So when we say something incorrect, just head down to the YouTube. It doesn't count if it's anywhere else. Head down to the YouTube comment section and let us know. At 15 minutes and 73 seconds, when you said it was this, it was actually that. And ideally give it, that timestamp, and we'll credit you. We'll read out your corrections. But big brains, big wrinkly brains, and these guys small koala chicken fillet brains, no wrinkles at all. So the likelihood that we've been corrected, pretty much zero. Any corrections?
Well, we've got one from
Zero,
3
like I
episodes
said.
ago.
Oh, okay.
This is a month ago now.
God.
When we were talking about the new PlayStation handheld leak
Yeah.
and whatnot, not regarding that, but Runic Firebird writes in and he says, "So it's been a bit, guys. I've been trying to catch up because started a new job. Congratulations! on that,
Congrats.
but I have one correction. This time it's for Eddie.
Come on, let's hear it, Running Firebird. What is your perfectly thought out and brilliant take?
Suddenly it's all brilliant, isn't it? In my correction, you mispronounced Revan. So in the correction that he made, I mispronounced
yes,
Revan.
Darth Revan.
As per the rules of this segment and the internet, I have to count it. Love the content, guys. Keep it up. And Eddie, I hope you have a fantastic time in America. Oh, well, yeah, I did have a fantastic time.
Oh, wow. That is...
Very old.
Sorry, bro.
But I guess because of that, he hasn't put any more correcting conversations in because he thought that we gave up on it, which is just our stupidity. We didn't give up on it.
Also, some episodes were recorded and not released, not because they weren't released, but because we don't have them anymore. That's just we made a mistake, and
I don't think that's fair that you're including me in your stupidity. I think you should own it, okay? Own up. Be a man.
Woosa!
And on that note, I think we should end the episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a good old discussion about the failings of PlayStation. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope we have something more to talk about. I'm sure we'll be doing all kinds of like watch parties for the stuff coming up in Summer Games Fest, Xbox's show, and all that stuff. And I hope you all guys will join me for that. All right, bro. You got anything else to say?
No. Look, when we all play, we all win.
Exactly. It's written
Gaming.
inside my controller. A corporate.
I hate that so
corporate
much.
CEO wrote inside my controller. Oh my god. The way people ate that shit up, I was like, what? Is that? Do you want like a pharmaceutical company to write on your insulin? Be like, I'm writing this from my yacht.
Real research by real people. What?
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Chemists for people by people.
By the people.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out. See you later, guys.